track most of the night, and it just stayed really good, really dirty, and you could kind of make speed different places. So just got to take it night by night. You get a different track every time you come. It's really hot today, so see how the track shapes up for us.
Briggs Danner looking for his first career win at Lincoln Park Speedway, adding to his 4th USAC sprint car and first midget win this season.
So good to see Briggs, again, coming on a great bit of momentum. And this is a track that he's had some okay runs at, but it's one he's still trying to break through at.
Yeah, and you heard Genevieve talk to Briggs there about his 2nd place run during Indiana Sprint Week last year, too. And I was actually talking to Genevieve off air earlier today. This place just kind of seems Briggs Danner coded, like it's meant for Briggs, but yet the runs and the results haven't been there for Briggs just yet. So interesting to see what he can do. And we talk about it, no matter what form of racing it is, whether it's sprint car, midget, silver crown, something on pavement, open wheel, fenders, it doesn't matter. Momentum is huge. And Briggs, certainly, like we just talked about, Brian, has a lot of it coming in a spectacular weekend.
Another driver that Genevieve had a chance to go and get work with is somebody who's had a lot of success, a huge amount of success on the local level, whether it's here, Bloomington, all around the state of Indiana. And that's Harley Burns, and his program getting kind of shook up a little bit. Last week, coming out and debuting with Rocksteady Racing. It's his body, but it's Rocksteady's engine, it's their frame. So, you know, Hank is very involved in that deal. Had a decent debut at Butler, maybe not the finish they were looking for, but this is a track where obviously he's got a lot of experience, a lot of laps, he's got a good setup book at.
Yeah, 2-time winner here at Lincoln Park Speedway this year on the local level, one of the higher ups in points when it comes to the local Saturday night program here at Lincoln Park Speedway. And a 9th place run, Brian, like you said, not exactly what they were looking for, but it was a great day for Harley, his career best with the series too. And we were just talking about momentum a second ago. How big is this boost of momentum for Harley coming into one of his best tracks? We'll have to wait and see how it goes for him here this weekend.
We'll see how he does, and let's go to Genevieve Malone.
Harley Burns picking up a career best finish at Butler Motor Speedway, finishing 9th at a track that you're not so familiar with, but you finished first here 2 times at Lincoln Park Speedway. Having such familiarity with you, how eager are you to be in the 3R here?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be back at Puntonville. It's my home track. I live 15 minutes from here. So, yeah, it's a big deal to come to Puntonville. It's such a fast car and a good team. And, you know, combined, we all have a bunch of experience here between me, Hank, and Davey. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah, Butler was tricky. It was a really different racetrack than we have around here. The dirt was weird, and it kind of reminded me of Florida dirt. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be back home at Puntonville.
With racing a combination of your own equipment and the 3R machinery, how did that relationship with Hank Byron begin, and how has the partnership been so far?
Yeah, so it actually started here at Puntonville. We were just pitted next to Hank one night. I think it was 2020, so 6 years ago now, and he asked if we needed any used tires, and I got his phone number, and I went to his shop the next week and got some tires off of him, and just stayed in contact ever since and grown our relationship. And he's just a really good friend, somebody I can lean on. And then the end of that year, he actually gave me a frame, and I put it together kind of like this steel, really, but this steel has his motor in it and some more of his stuff on it. But and that just kind of got me going a little better, and using some pages out of his notebook, and we've just been in contact ever since then. And he always helps me anytime I need it.
Harley Burns driving that 3R for the 2nd time this season. We will be right back from the broadcast.
Whatever you drive, however you drive, AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Every lap, every race, every bit of paint traded for every hard-fought place. Every checkered flag and trophy raised. Every ounce of dirt, sweat, and gears. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
The new Dirt Draft app, faster, sharper, built to win. New lock windows and predictive contests. More ways to play, more ways to win. Lock in your drivers, watch the action, and become a fantasy champion. Every lap, every restart, every last lap slide job that moves you up the leaderboard. The green flag just dropped on the all-new Dirt Draft. Download it now at dirtdraft.com. Draft your team and get in the race.
something has awakened. The horsepower and torque you always knew was there, just waiting to make every drive thrilling. Track tested, off-road proven, performance for everything you drive. Drive better with K&N.
Get ready for new Kias with 0% financing at Lou Fuse Kia Evansville. The Ready, Set, Drive sales event is happening now. Get ready for big savings on new K4s, only $169 a month. You're set with Sorrentos, just $279 a month or 0% financing. Drive home Tellurides, now $299 a month or 0%. At Lou Fuse Kia Evansville, home of the 200,000-mile warranty. Lou Fuse, we are family.
Your ride with True Brand Fuel Joules, the only time-release fuel treatment on the market. Fuel Joules cleans and lubricates while restoring power and performance, and its patented time-release formula increases fuel economy by up to 7%, saving you money at the pump, tank full after tank full. Plus, Fuel Joules races for a cause. We partner with the National Breast Cancer Foundation to fund life-saving early detection screenings for women in need. Visit TrueBrandProducts.com to get your bottle today.
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing at night number 1 of the Sprintacular here at Lincoln Park Speedway with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship, where 34 drivers have checked in to do battle in wingless sprint car competition. Another 24 in the bomber division on hand here tonight as well. Of course, don't forget, we do it all again here tomorrow, and then Sunday we head down the road to Terre Haute for the Sumar Classic. The big cars of the Silver Crown Series back in action. We hope you can join us for all 3 outings this week. Drivers out of the racetrack right now, helping to roll the racing surface in. Once we get through engine heat and wheel pack, we'll roll into Dirt Draft Hot Laps. That means you still have time to set your lineup. Remember, Dirt Draft, a complete overhaul at the start of the year. Going to leagues, they have 3 different leagues you can play in. The Pro League, that locks in at qualifying. The Veteran League, Heat Race number 1, and the Rookie League gives you all the way to the main event. Predictive contests, and of course, that 25% off gift card to the Hoosier Tire online merchandise store for new and reactivating subscribers. As always, Drake has Driver v. Driver.
You're absolutely right, I do, Brian. It is that time of the evening. Once again, it is time for Dirt Draft Driver Driver matchup. CJ Leary getting to go up against Logan Seavey, our most recent Sprint Car Dirt Draft Driver Driver matchup winner. So once again, Leary and Seavey going head-to-head. And you talked about the different leagues and lobbies you can play in with our friends at Dirt Draft. If you want to play with the USAC drivers here tonight at Lincoln Park Speedway, you're going to want to sign up for that Pro Public Lobby. So let's get into the drivers and their lineup. CJ Leary, he's at USAC Driver 1 in the aforementioned Pro Public Lobby. He has chosen Mitchell Moles, Hayden Reinbold, Gunnar Setzer, Jaden Rogers, and Harley Burns. Once again, he is at USAC Driver 1. Logan Seavey to the right-hand side of his screen at USAC Driver 2 has chosen himself, Cale Kuhn, Shane Cottle, Ricky Lewis. I don't believe Ricky Lewis is here tonight, so we'll readjust Logan's lineup for him there, and Wyatt Burke. So make sure you play with the USAC drivers here this evening with their friends at Dirt Draft in the Pro Public Lobby.
Thank you very much. As the drivers slowly start to make their way back into the pit area, we'll whittle it down till we get to Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1 of 4 flights of hot laps, single car qualifying, 2 laps, and your quickest time counting towards your Learn Lab qualifying effort. And of course, 4 heat races with the top 5 out of each moving on directly into tonight's feature event. Everybody else going to the 5-star bodies semi-feature. 24 drivers in the bomber class here. All drivers being told right now will advance on into an A main. Of course, talking about racing action continuing tomorrow here at Lincoln Park for the Sprintacular. Sunday, of course, the Sumar Classic. The big cars of the Silver Crown Series back in action. Mid-America Midget Week kicks off on Tuesday. Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex out in Missouri. Mitchell County Fairgrounds in Beloit, Kansas on July 8th for the Chad McDaniel Memorial. And then Jefferson County Speedway on July 10th and 11th. Starting at Mitchell County, the National Open Wheel 600 Micro is going to be on the card as well. And the day that we have off between Mitchell County and Jefferson County, they'll actually be in action up at the Nebraska Oval as they will do split field qualifying to set things up for the finale on July 11th. Back in Indiana on July 19th for Winchester, Silver Crown on the high banks. The dirt track of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway kicks off. NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by K&N Filters. Lincoln Park Speedway, we're back here on July 24th. Follow that up on Kokomo on July 25th. And, of course, you can see the entire lineup of events when you go online to USACracing.com. If you can't be there, of course, you can find it all on FloRacing, the official online broadcast provider of all national circle track tours of the United States Auto Club. Part of the Flow Sports Network, your subscription, whether it be monthly or yearly, there is no difference on that paywall. You get everything: hockey, bull riding, wrestling, marching band. They might even have show dogs on there. You just have to go on there and check it out. But anything and everything you can think of is a part of the Flow Sports Network. On the racing side, of course, USAC national action, USAC regional action as well, Southwest Sprints, CRA, MRA. You can find all those on Flow Racing. And, of course, Interstate Battery High Limits, Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the All-Star Circuit of Champions, plus marquee events like the Hyper Racing Tulsa Shootout powered by NOS Energy Drink happening December 29th through January 3rd, and the Chillable Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink January 11th through the 16th, the Dome in St. Louis, Snowball Derby, the Wild West Shootout, and more, all a part of that one subscription to Flow Sports. AMSOIL is the title sponsor of the USAC Sprint Car National Championship. The AMSOIL Shop by Vehicle tool at AMSOIL.com takes the guesswork out of picking the right oil and filter combination for your vehicle. Choose the right product and packaging option and enjoy fast free delivery right to your door. Go to AMSOIL.com to learn more. If you have a major stop at the USAC merchandise trailer, now is the time to do so to get all of your 2026 race day must-have gear. You can also sign up to be tonight's AMSOIL Inside the Oval winner. If your name is chosen, you and a guest of your choice get a prize pack, a ride in the pace truck, and you get to watch all the action from tonight's feature event from the infield. Again, you can do that right now at the USAC merchandise trailer. We'll be calling the winner following our heat races. Also down at Merchandise Row, Robert Ballou, Jaden Rogers, Logan Seavey, Mitchell Moles, Kevin Thomas Jr., Jake Swanson, C.J. Leary, all available again directly behind the grandstands right before you make your way into the main entrance. Go down there and check it out. High performance racing demands high performance energy with NOS Energy, fueling USAC's fastest drivers and fans all season long. If you're sitting in the grandstands when the cars go live and you're trying to figure out what exactly we're saying on the PA system, you can follow all that when you bring your scanner. At frequency 454.5000, you can hear all the Flow Racing audio. Again, 454.5000. You can get your own scanner by going to racingelectronics.com. Cookout presents always fresh, never frozen burgers, barbecue, and hot dogs, all cooked fresh every day. And get this, over 40 different flavors of shakes, all prepared fresh and made by hand every day. It's all yours. Find a Cookout location near you. Go to cookout.com. Sunoco was the world's largest manufacturer of racing fuels and has been the standard of motorsports for over 50 years. Known for innovation, consistency, and high performance, Sunoco Fuels has been the choice of racers from grassroots tracks to premier international series. Go to SunocoRaceFuels.com to learn more. Hoosier Racing Tires' mission is to be the dominant customer-driven provider of racing tires to teams domestically and internationally. For more information on tires designed for champions, go online to HoosierTire.com. Getting things whittled down to the drivers you'll find in Dirt Track Hot Lap Session number 1. Dalen Chambers here on the front straightaway, driving the Spike, Motorsports Unlimited. Chambers, number 4C. They buzz the ends of the racetrack. The 49, Austin Corey on track as well in Morristown, Indiana. Driver of the Browns Oil Service, Celebration Child Care Ministries. Inline Painting, Earl Plumbing, number 49, making his way through turns 3 and 4. Good to see Troy Carey back on track. Made the trip out to Eastern Storm. Unfortunately, the engine failing beneath the bonnet of the Skyline building. Supos Hog Kevin, number 45 in, but back at it here with the Claxton Ripper, number 49. The I-1 on track here in the front straightaway. Ivan Glotzbach at Fillmore, Indiana. The Racers Custom and Collision Repair. Knuckle Busters Retrievers and Pizza King, number I-1. Driver in 44 on track at Nixa, Missouri. Driver of the Dryden All Metal Recycling, Helm Racing, Shriners Children's Hospital. Engine connection number 44. And that is Wesley Smith. Wesley Smith in the number 44, regular competitor out in the Show Me State with both the USAC MRA as well as the War Series. The 19 on track, that is Hayden Reinbold of the Gilbert, Arizona. The AME Electrical Reinbold Development Incorporated, Mississippi Valley Transportation, number 19. And rolling around to the front straightaway. The G5, that is Gunnar Setzer out of Columbus, Indiana. The Setzer Fabricating. Aviation Tax Consultants, Stanton. Block 1, number G5, as they will roll into the throttle. We'll get underway here with Dirt Drive Hot Lap session number 1. Couple of drivers going in and getting real tight on the entrance to turns 3 and 4. I thought a couple of them were going to go up and find the billboards there for a second. Having to reevaluate and adjust their entry here. Glotzbach, the last time around, got all the way up to the ragged edge. This time, a much better line as he makes his way down the front straightaway. As we'll bring the field under yellow flag conditions here. We'll let them stay out on track. They will roll kind of where they see fit. Then we'll set them loose one more time. Austin Corey right now the quickest driver on track of the 14.299. Wesley Smith at a 14.866. Troy Carey 14.912. Hayden Reinbold 14.914. And Dalen Chambers 14.954. One driver that was set to be in this hot lap session was Gavin Miller, the 21 AZ machine. The Curb Records Kodiak product, Team Arizona, Quebec Gene, race at number 21. Came out, the car not firing, so heading back into the pit area. Try to go back and get an update and see what is going on with that machine here in just a little bit. So drivers getting instructions over the receiver to focus a little bit more to the middle of the racing surface here. Wesley Smith, the last time we saw him in action with the United States Auto Club back at Red Hill. In the Shriners Children's Hospital, Dryden Engine Connection, Shanae Lawson Chassis, number 44. G5 of Gunnar Setzer starting off the season in KO Motorsports, now behind the wheel of the family number G5 here, the Lee Company Incorporated, the Cure Starts Now Foundation, Indy Race Parts, Midwest 2 Mills, Lynch Machining, number G5. So caution light's going to go dark, and we're going to set them loose here. Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1, take 2. Checkered flag flies for Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. Gunnar Setzer goes to the top at a 14.266. Austin Corey, 14.299. Wesley Smith at a 14.397. Hayden Reinbold, 14.433. And Ivan Glotzbach ends up 5th quick at a 14.564. Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2 will begin to make its way down the chute and out onto the Speedway. First driver rolling out to the clay here for your second set of Dirt Draft Hot Laps is out of Fort Branch, Indiana. Driving the England Machine and Tool Moments by Morgan Lucas Oil Center Superior Tank and Trailer number 92. That is Chase Stockin. Chase Stockin in the number 92. Brandon Maddox out of Terre Haute, Indiana. The Whitman Roofing, TCB Speed North, Gressman DRC. Maddox Heating and Cooling number 28 making his way into turns 1 and 2. The 97 is Austin Nye out of Greenfield, Indiana. The Billy's Tequila. Chevrolet DRC. The Brigade Shooting Company number 97. The S46 driver set to make his USAC national debut, driving the McCarthy Transport. Tullamore Speedway, Basalt, EMI, SM Motorsports Power number S46. That is Hilton Rowett. Hilton Rowett out of Bordertown, South Australia. Driver on screen right now, working onto the back straightaway of Greencastle, Indiana. Driver the Curb Wreckers Mechanical Advantage, Coletta Charters, Neil Tire, Impact, Joe Doolin, Carmack Virginia, number 63. That is Cale Coons. Cale Coons, the number 63. Over on the back straightaways out of San Jose, California, driver the Parts Authority, Knox Enterprises, the Hayloft, Heltz Turf Farm, J&D Chevrolet, DRC, Landon Simon Race at number 24. That is Timez, Thomas Meserol. Looking over to the back straightaway in 79. Kevin Clodfelter out of Rockville, Indiana. Sponsored by The Wallet and the Dave Pepperak Racing Engine, DRC chassis number 79. Driver at 87, also on track, rolling in turns 1 and 2 at Spencer, Indiana. The Ace Corporation, AJ Felker Power, DRC number 87. That is Tony Helton. Helton in the number 87. So drivers continuing to roll around here before we set them loose. Thomas Meserol rolling down the front straightaway. Second time we've seen him in action this year. Drake with an update.
You're absolutely right, Brian. Second time we have seen Timez in action with us this year. Let's not forget, it was a very good run out at the Circle City Raceway during the Circle City Salute as he was fourth on the feature event field that evening. And great to see Thomas back behind the wheel of an on-wing sprint car more often. Kind of took a step away from it for some time, but great to see him back behind the wheel of an on-wing sprint car. And he's had success here at Lincoln Park Speedway, albeit though his last win in May of 2023. We'll see if he can return to victory lane tonight. Also, wanted to make note, it's great having him a part of our BC39 broadcast the last few days at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Thank you very much. Field underway here. Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2 for those of you just joining us on the FloRacing broadcast. Problems for Rowett, the Australian, making his way down to the pit area right as we went green for Dirt Draft Hot Lap session at number 2. And Thomas Meserol climbs to the top of the speed charts at a 13.322. Brandon Maddox 13.814. Chase Stockin 14.107. Cale Coons fourth quick at a 14.117. And Austin Nye 14.262. Your 5 quickest drivers out of 2 flights of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Setzer, Clodfelter, Corey Smith, Helton. That's your top 10 as third round of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. So we're going to make its way down to the Speedway. First driver going to roll out to the Speedway for this group. It's out of Princeton, Indiana. Your current USAC National points leader in the Avante Windows and Doors, Jugo Superfoods, Premier Recycling, Petty Performance, Lucas Oil Center, number 3P. This is Kyle Cummins. Kyle Cummins in the 3P. Joining him out to the Speedway, Wyatt Burks out of Topeka, Kansas. The Wholesale Batteries, Harris Fabrication. Jaden Soap Foundation, Lazy L Ransomer 11W, making his way off into turns 1 and 2. Driver in 14, Jaden Rogers at Worthington, Indiana. The Beasley's Railcar Repair, American Dream Racing, Parallax Motorsports, Alchemy Engineering, number 14. Next driver entering out to the racing surface comes to you out of Coleman, Alabama. Driver of the BBI Motorsports, Inland Rigging, Indy Metal Finishing, Fisher, DRC, number 15. This is Kevin Thomas Jr. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the number 15. On a hot streak coming into the Sprintacular, Briggs Danner coming off of a championship run to the BC39. Driver of the E. Schneider & Sons Recycling, Keystone Cap Rider, DRC, Boulevard Truck Repair, number 39. Not only picking up his first BC39 Championship check and trophy, but his first career win with the USAC NOS Energy during Mid-National Championship. Eric Gentry behind him out of Roberts, Kentucky, driving the G-Nig Construction, England Machine and Tool, Chalk Stick Spec DRC chassis number 10. 57 also on track. That's Logan Seavey out of Southern California, the Mount Mechanical Contractors, Drop Line 80 Power Sports number 57. Late entry on the field, the 29 OG. Tom Eller, the driver to Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, driving the Lake County Hose. EMI, Cowlick Cones and Floats, number 29 OG. Chance Crum also out to the Speedway, driving the Pit Logic, 83 Customs, Elevate Race Media, Racer Redeem Foundation. Crum Racing, FG3 Power, DRC chassis number 83, makes his way to the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. So again, for those of you just making your way into the grandstands or joining us on the FloRacing broadcast, Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 3 of 4 out onto the racing surface. The K&N Clean Air Award presented to the driver who leads the most laps during each USAC National A feature throughout the 2026 season. The award is designed to recognize sustained performance in the front of the field where engine efficiency, reliability, meticulous preparation are at a premium. Shop for your vehicle and your home at knfilters.com. We're green in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 3. So a couple of drivers so far with issues. Of course, we talked about Rowett pulling down just as we went green earlier. Now Logan Seavey never getting on the throttle, just taking it down onto the apron of the racetrack and taking it back to the pits. So we'll see what is going on with him. They had issues as well during the BC39 on the midget side of things. So hopefully they'll be able to get things figured out. Speaking of the BC39, the driver that went to victory lane right now is the quickest driver on track. Briggs Danner, a 13.119. Thomas Meserol now second quick at a 13.322. Jaden Rogers, 13.351. Kyle Cummins, 13.376. And Kevin Thomas Jr., fifth quick at a 13.397. Chance Crum, Brandon Maddox, Wyatt Burks, Chase Stockin, Cale Coons, right now your top 10. So the final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps will begin to make its way out onto the Speedway. Driver coming to us out of Raisin City, California. The AME Electrical Mississippi Valley Transportation Rival Development Incorporated number 19 AZ. Mitchell Mole is going to make his way over onto the back straightaway. The 5T also on track. That's Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California. The Inland Rigging, Darty Motorsports, Snake Enterprises, Roll Scaffolding, CK Enterprises, Dirt Roots Digital, number 5T. The 99J, that's Kyle Johnson out of Greencastle, Indiana. The Trudy L. Sylvia Attorney at Law, Noble's Tax Service, Two Brothers Farms, Witt's Lawn Care, number 99J. The 3R making his way towards turn number 1. Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana. The Brit Arrow, Timberland Limit Company, Rocksteady Racing, the acecorp.com, number 3R. Here on the front straightway, the High Aspiration Farms, Hawkins Body Shop, Ham Designs, Rumpke, Ryan Myers Power, DRC. Number 24P, that is Max Adams. Max Adams behind the wheel, the number 24P. Just past the flag stand, the NOS Energy Drink, MPV Logistics. Top Industries, G&G Racing Fuels, Amsoil, number 4. That is Justin Grant. Grant in the number 4. The 16K also out to the Speedway, the Smith Small Engine, GTCarts.com, G&G Oil, Troy's Lawn Care number 16K. That is Colin Parker. Parker in the 16K. Robert Ballou at Rockland, California, in the back straightaway, driver the Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Berks Western Telecom, England Machine and Tool, Donut DRC Chassis, number 12. CJ Leary also out to the Speedway, back behind the wheel, the Fox Brothers, Braden Fox Racing, Jarvis Enterprises, Matador Motorsports, Foxco DRC Chassis, number 53. And Gavin Miller again out to the Speedway to try and fire the Team Arizona number 21 AZ, and once again, silence beneath the bonnet. So driver's going to roll around just a little bit here before we set him loose. Real quick, let's check in with Drake.
It was a very productive 2 days at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Jake Swanson aboard the 5T, of course, getting his first run at the BC 39 presented by Avante Windows and Doors, and in doing so both nights he was able to pick up the MPI Rookie of the Race honors, and it was a cool prize that MPI gave out to the Rookie of the Race on the finale of the BC 39, a one-of-a-kind custom steering wheel with the BC 39 logo on it. Jake was not wasting any time putting that in his race car. He posted to social media earlier this week that he's got that wheel in the car here for tonight's race. We'll see what he can do. Of course, he's one of the drivers that has won a USAC national race here at the Lincoln Park Speedway. He did so back in 2023 during Indiana Sprint Week.
Thank you very much. Caution lights will go dark. Final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps is underway. Checkered flag flies in your final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps for Justin Grant. Will go to be the quickest driver of the evening so far, 12.633. Max Adams at 12.975. Harley Burns at 13.023. Mitchell Moles at 13.100. And Briggs Danner, fifth quick at a 13.119. Robert Ballou, Jake Swanson, Colin Parker, Kyle Johnson, and C.J. Leary make up your top 10. Little ways off of the official one-lap track record. That was established on July 5th, 2024 by Logan Seavey, an 11.959, 94.071 average miles per hour. As we're just about ready to go into LearnLab qualifying, LearnLab is a maker of award-winning hands-on industrial job skills training systems using curriculum, classroom tools, and rugged hands-on training panels. LearnLab teaches the necessary skills with real tools and components to help schools, colleges, and companies train their people to be better at what they do. Check out LearnLab.com for more information. On the clock, the first time they go by the start-finish line here in the front straightaway. 2 laps to establish their qualifying effort, the quicker of the two counting towards their time. Again, 34 drivers have checked in for night number 1 of the Sprintacular. Set to be back here tomorrow for the finale, and of course Sunday, Silver Crown at the Action Track in Terre Haute, Indiana, for the Sumar Classic. So lots of racing here on this Independence Day holiday weekend. As our first driver going to make his way out onto the Speedway, and he is all the way from Tillamore, New South Wales, Australia. Driven the Skyline Building, Supos, Hog Heaven, Davis Brothers, Glitch Construction, Yoss Valley Waste Services, Ripper, Claxton Power number 45 in. This is Troy Carey. Troy Carey out onto the Speedway for his opening lap of LearnLab qualifying. Made his way out to Eastern Storm. Unfortunately, an engine failure causing him to scratch on round 1 at Grandview. Going to come out, and opening lap's going to be a 13.373. 1.3373 seconds for Troy Carey. Claxton getting the 8 cylinders back together and back underway here. Makes his way through turns 3 and 4. Coming around, lap number 2. will be a 13.623. He'll stand on his opening lap at 13.373. Next driver onto the Speedway comes to you out of Nixa, Missouri. Driver of the Dryden, All Metal Recycling, Helm Racing, Shriners Children's Hospital, Engine Connection Power, Shanae Lawson, chassis number 44. This is Wesley Smith. Wesley Smith, the number 44. 3 wins outside of USAC national competition with the War Series, as a matter of fact, as he goes quick time on his opening lap at a 13.269. Most recently going to victory lane on June 27th at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. Last time we saw him up at Red Hill, ended up with a 16th place finish. Comes around second time by better, 12.922. Wesley Smith right now is your Learn Lap Quick qualifier. Next driver onto the Speedway. Driver in 49, Austin Corey to Morristown, Indiana, driver of the Browns Oil Service. John Performance, DRC Celebration Child Care Ministries. Earl's Plumbing number 49. Corey coming around second quick on his opening lap at a 13.101. Last time we saw him at Tri-State semi-feature competition. Looking for his first USAC national start here at Lincoln Park Speedway. Comes around quick time at a 12.913, 12.913 seconds. Austin Corey goes to the top of the boards here in Learn Lab qualifying. Dalen Chambers out to the Speedway now at a Bowling Green, Indiana. Driver of the Spike Motorsports Unlimited number 4C. Another driver in search of an A-feature start here at Lincoln Park with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Overall in regional competition, a half a dozen starts and 3 top 10s. Goes third quick on his opening lap at a 13.072, 13.072 seconds for Chambers. See if he can better that here as he rolls her up to the cushion through turns 3 and 4 onto the front straightaway. Second time by better. Quick time at a 12.849, 12.849 seconds for Dalen Chambers. Cruising out to the Speedway in G5 out of Columbus, Indiana. Driver of the Setzer Fabricating, Aviation Tax Consultant, Stanton Mach 1, Lee Company Incorporated, the Gear Starts Now Foundation. Lynch Machining number G5. This is Gunnar Setzer. Gunnar Setzer's opening lap. Quick time at a 12.595, 12.595 seconds for the driver of the number G5, a 3-time starter here at Lincoln Park Speedway in USAC National Sprint Car Competition. Last year, a 12th place finish on night number 1 of the Sprintacular. Comes around slower, 12.778. His opening lap. To the top here in Learn Lab qualifying, a 12.595. 1 year ago, it was a career weekend for the driver to Gilbert, Arizona. Driver of the AME Electrical Reinbold Development Incorporated, Messiah Valley Transportation, Jugo Superfoods number 19. This is Hayden Reinbold. Hayden Reinbold in the number 19. Second place on night number 1 of the Sprintacular in 2025. Goes 5th quick on his opening lap at a 13.125. 2 wins on the season and Silver Crown, as well as USAC National Midget Competition. Salt City and Circle City, sites of those victories. Comes around second time by, a little bit better, still 5th quick at a 13.069. Next driver onto the Speedway is Ivan Glotzbach out of Fillmore, Indiana. Driver of the Racers Custom and Collision Repair, Chevrolet DRC Chassis, Pizza King, Tyler Cox Realty. Ivan Glotzbach owned number I1. 1 start here in USAC National Sprint Car Competition back in 2024. He ran 19th. Couple of starts on the season here on the regional level. Comes around 7th quick on his opening lap at a 14.051. 1.4051 seconds for the I1. Takes it up onto the cushion through turns 3 and 4 and onto the front stretch. We'll see if he improves second time by. He does 6 quick, 13.190, 13.190 for Ivan Glotzbach second time by. Next driver onto the Speedway, going to drop it in from the top here. Cale Coons out of Greencastle, Indiana. Driver of the Kurt Brackers Mechanical Advantage, Coletta Charters, Neil Tire, Joe Doolin, Kerbeck, Janey, and Stanton Power, DRC Chassis number 63. 2 starts here with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Last year goes 6 quick on his opening lap at a 13.153. 6 on the opening night of the Sprintacular. 25 starts on the season. Comes around better 5th quick at a 13.036. 1.3036 seconds for Cale Coons. On to the Speedway now. Comes to you out of San Jose, California. Driver of the Parts Authority, Knox Enterprises, the Hayloft, Health Stir Farm, Lucas Oil, DRC, Land Assignment Race number 24. It's Timez Thomas Meserol. 13-time starter here at Lincoln Park Speedway with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Goes 2nd quick on his opening lap with a 12.777. His last Sprintacular start in 2023, ran 22nd on the opening night. His best finish here in 2018 was a 6th place finish. Better on lap number 2, but still 2nd quick at a 12.632.037 seconds onto the pace of Gunnar Setzer. He holds on to the top spot with a 12.595. Tony Helton onto the Speedway now with Spencer, Indiana. The Ace Corporation, AJ Foco Power, DRC Chassis number 87 in search of his first USAC National feature start here in Lincoln Park. 8 overall starts regionally for the driver, the number 87 here in 2026. Goes 9th quick on his opening lap at 13.295, 13.295 seconds for the driver, the number 87. Rolls around, high side exit to number 4. Lap number 2, better. Second quick at a 12.621, 12.621. Tony Helton getting even closer, 0.026 seconds off of the pace of Gunnar Setzer. Onto the racetrack now at a Fort Branch, Indiana. Driver the England Machine and Tool, Modes by Morgan, Lucas Oil Center, Superior Tank and Trailer, Phil and Eileen King, S&C Fabrication Moose, race at number 92. This is Chase Stockin. Stockin, lap number 1 is 8th quick at a 13.065, 130.65 seconds. 31 career starts here at Lincoln Park Speedway and USAC National Competition. Winner in the Putnamville Twins in race number 1 in 2020. Comes around second time by, better. 4th quick at a 12.827, 12827 seconds for Chase Stockin. Next driver onto the Speedway from right down the road in Terre Haute, Indiana. Driver the Whitman Roofing, TCP Speed North, Gressman DRC, Pure Max Racing Oil, Acrolube, Maddox Heating and Cooling, number 28. This is Brandon Maddox and the number 28. 14 career starts here in USAC National Sprint Car Competition. 8 of those coming in the Sprintacular. Goes 10th quick on his opening lap at a 13.187. Last year, night number 1 inning in the semi-feature event. As he makes his way up onto the cushion into turn 3. Bounces off for a little bit here as he comes onto the front straightaway. Second time by is better. 9th quick at 13.042. Bringing it all the way around the top and onto the front straightaway here. Next competitor onto the racetrack. Driver in 79. Kevin Clodfelter at Rockville, Indiana. Powered by the almighty wallet for the Dave Paparak Racing engine and a DRC chassis. In search of his first start here at Lincoln Park Speedway with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. Absent for night number 1 last year's semi-feature event on night number 2. 13th quick at his opening lap as he buries her up over the cushion there, 14.628. On lap number 1, Clodfelter making his way through turns 3 and 4. Keeps her down off of the cushion here. We'll see if he improves second time by. He does not. 14.711. 13th for the driver, the number 79. Austin Nye at Greenfield, Indiana, the Billy's Tequila Chevrolet DRC. Intellisense, the Brigade Shooting Company, 97 Enterprises, number 97. Out onto the Speedway. 1 start in Spectacular competition. That came last year on Saturday night with a 19th place run. Goes 5th quick on his opening lap with a 12.842. 12842 seconds for Austin Nye. Last time we saw him in Circle City during the salute. Night ended in the semi-feature. Slower second time by a 12.924. Lap number 1, 12.842. 5th quick for the driver of the number 97. Onto the racetrack now, all the way from Snohomish, Washington. Driving the Pit Logic, A3 Customs, FG3 Power, DRC, CSI, Z-Max, Crum Family Race number 83C. This is Chance Crum. Chance Crum coming around on lap number 1. 4th quick with a 12.756. 127.56 seconds for the driver of the number 83C. 14th last year on the opening night of the Sprintacular. His best run here came during Indiana Sprint Week, was a 12th in 2024. Slower second time by with a 12.869. 4th quick, he'll stand on his opening lap. Eric Gentry next out onto the Speedway out of Roberts, Kentucky. Driver the G-Nick Construction Spec DRC. Chalk Sticks, England Machine and Tool, Larry Gentry owned, number 10. Last time in USAC National Competition up at Red Hill, a 12th and a 15th place finish. Half a dozen starts regionally on the season for the driver, the number 10. Goes 15th on his opening lap at 13.673, 13673 seconds for Gentry on lap number 1. Rolls her up, cheats her off the cushion in the middle of turn number 4 onto the front straightaway. And the second time by is better on time, not position, 13.465, still 15th. Next driver onto the Speedway, the 29 OG, Tom Eller. Driver to Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. Driver the Lake County Hose, EMI, Cowlicks, Cones and Floats, R-Shock Services, Johnny's Poorhouse, number 29. 17th quick on his opening lap at a 14.644, 14644 seconds for the driver, the number 29, working on to the back straightaway. Looking to make his first start in feature event competition here at Lincoln Park. In regional competition, he's gone to 5 feature events so far this season with a pair of top 10s. Picks up a little bit of time, second time around, 14.186, 16th quick for the driver, the number 29. Onto the racetrack now. 4 wins on the season. His most recent one coming right here in Lincoln Park back on June 11th. It's Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana. Driver of the Beasley's Railcar Repair, American Dream Racing, Parallax Motorsports, Midwest Downhill Services, number 14. 8th quick on his opening lap with a 12.872. 12872 seconds for Jaden Rogers. Still in search of a USAC national score this season. Weekly competition, twice a winner here. In fact, got a win back in April as well. Second time by, quick time at a 12.365. 12365 seconds. Jaden Rogers now the best here in Learn Lab qualifying. Onto the racetrack now at Allentown, Pennsylvania. 9 overall wins on the season, most recently at the BC 39, presented by Avante Windows and Doors, the E. Snyder & Sons Recycling, Keystone Cab, Boulevard Truck Repair, Apache Transport number 39. This is Briggs Danner. Lap number 1, 6 quick at a 12.812. 12812 seconds for the Hogue Racing Enterprises number 39. A 9-time starter here at Lincoln Park. 8th on night number 1 of the Sprintacular 1 year ago. Comes around lap number 2, 6th on lap number 1. 3rd on lap number 2, a 12.614 for Briggs Danner. Onto the racetrack now at Topeka, Kansas. Over the Wholesale Batteries, Harris Fabrication, Jaden's Hope Foundation, Lazy L Ranch, Don Hot Triple X Chassis number 11W. This is Wyatt Burks. Wyatt Burks in the number 11W. Ended up with 4 wins in 2025, including the GW Elkins Memorial at a Route 66 Motor Speedway. Goes 10th quick on his opening lap at a 12.911. In search of his first start here at Lincoln Park with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. Comes around a little bit slower second time at a 12.975, a 12.911 on his opening lap. Puts him currently in 10th. Issues during Dirt Draft Hot Laps looks like they have been rectified as the RPMs will climb. Into turns 1 and 2, Logan Seavey out of Southern California, driver of the Mountain Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light 80 Power Sports, Stanton DRC Chassis, Abacus Racing, Vorcheck Marketing, number 57. 4 wins on the season, most recently during Indiana Midweek at Bloomington. Has 4 career victories here at Lincoln Park. Of course, swept the 2024 Sprintacular and was your winner on night number 1 of the Sprintacular last year. Second time around is 10th quick. He was 19th on his opening lap, a 13.509 to a 12.882. Next on to the Speedway, he's out of Coleman, Alabama. Driver of the Inland Rigging, into metal finishing. Brad Alexander Suspension, Bird Racing, Rada Supply, IPC, Smith Titanium, Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros number 15. This is Kevin Thomas Jr. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 15. 6 quick on his opening lap at a 12.697. 12697 seconds. Winner here in 2017 under MSCS sanction. Also got a win in 2021. Did it from the 14th starting spot. Goes second quick, second time by at a 12.562. That's Kevin Thomas Jr. Kyle Cummins on track now at Princeton, Indiana. Driver the Avante Windows and Doors, Jugo Super Boots, Petty Performance, Lucas Oil Center, Lakeside Homes, Apache Transport, number 3P. A 23-time starter here at Lincoln Park Speedway. Winner of the 2019 Sprintacular. Also got a victory here back in April of 2025. Goes 7th quick in his opening lap at a 12.749. 6-1 year ago here at the Sprintacular on night number 1. Second time by for Cummins. Better on time and goes to second quick at a 12.450. 12.450. For Kyle Cummins, off of the pace of Jaden Rogers by 0.085 seconds. Quick time continues to be 12.365. Laying her up onto the cushion and onto the back straightaway to Rockland, California. The Suburban Subaru, Deems Waterfront Services, Berks Western Telecom, Hitchman Indy. Amy Gardner Roofing number 12. It's the Madman, Robert Ballou. 16 quick on his opening lap, 13.007. Looking bondish out there as he works onto the back straightaway here. Wins here in 2015 with MSCS and the 2016 Sprintacular. Also Indiana Sprint Week stores in 17 and 2025. 16th quick, a little bit better on lap number 2 at 12.970. That was Robert Ballou in 12. Jake Swanson onto the Speedway now out of Anaheim, California. The Inland Rigging, Darty Motorsports, Snake Enterprises, DRC, Fine Line Drafting, Apache Transport number 5T. 2023 winner during Indiana Sprint Week with Team Arizona. Goes 21st quick on his opening lap at a 13.248. 25 starts on the season in USAC National Sprint Car Competition. 1 win, 9 top 5s, and 18 top 10 finishes. Second time by will be better. 13 quick at a 12.901. 12901 seconds for Jake Swanson. Dropping onto the Speedway now at Raisin City, California. Dropping the A&E Electrical, Massive Valley Transportation, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Indy Race Parts, Reinbold, Underwood Motorsports, number 19 AZ. This is Mitchell Moles. Mitchell Moles in the 19 AZ. Hard off of the cushion here on lap number 1. He will go third quick at a 12.50, 12.500 for Mitchell Moles. Winner here in 2022 during Indiana Sprint Week. Last year was fourth on night number 1 of the Sprintacular. Comes around second time by. Does he improve? Yes, he does. 12.291. Mitchell Moles now quick time here in Learn Lab qualifying. Next driver out to the Speedway. Comes to you out of Brazil, Indiana. Driver the Brit Aero, Timberland Lumber Company, Youngbloods, Rocksteady Racing, Mach 1 stat number 3R. This is Harley Burns. Burns, a little bit of a bobble there in the middle of turns 3 and 4. That will cost him in the 3. 23rd quick at a 13.260. Drives a little bit harder, a little bit wider, a little bit faster here second time by. He'll peel off a little over 6/10 of a second at 12.653, 23rd to 9th for Harley Burns. Down to the final handful of drivers left to qualify. Colin Parker to Martinsville, Indiana. The Smith Small Engine, GTCarts.com, G&G Oil, Troy's Lawn Care, Custom Powder Co. Bill Trainer powered Magnum chassis number 16K onto the Speedway. Comes around on his opening lap of 13.393, 13.393, 25th quick for Colin Parker. Takes the night racing machine off into turns 3 and 4, right through the middle groove here as he works onto the front straightaway. And he'll be a little bit better on time. Goes 23rd quick second time around to 13.085. Next on to the Speedway at Greenfield, Indiana. Driver the Jarvis Enterprises, Bachelor Motorsports, Foxco DRC number 53. This is C.J. Leary. C.J. Leary, the number 53. Winner in preliminary competition here during the Sprintacular in 2021 and 2022. Issue on the transponder here, so now he'll get a lap to come around. Gets her up on the Schwinn there. We saw the belly pan for a second, but sets it back down. Goes 24th quick with a 13.137. Again, we did have an issue with the transponder not registering the first time by. That's why he did get another lap at speed. Improves second time around, 13.083, 23rd quick for C.J. Leary. Kyle Johnson at Greencastle, Indiana. Driver the Noble Tax Service, Chevrolet DRC, Two Brothers Farms. Witt's Lawn Care, Mike Johnson, number 99J. Brings around onto the front straightaway. We'll see what the Jack's Track Service entry can do here. 26 quick on his opening lap with a 13.274, 13.274 seconds for the 99. Brings her off into turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he improves second time by. Better on time, not position, 13.228, still 26. Next driver onto the Speedway out of Ione, California. Driver the NOS Energy Drink, MPB Logistics, Top Industries, G&G Racing Fuels, Amsoil, Just Jim Storage, Stanton Max at number 4. This is Justin Grant. Justin Grant in the number 4. Winner here in 2018 with MSCS, and then winner in the 2022 Sprintacular, doing that one for the 8th starting spot. Goes 24th quick on his opening lap of the 13.084. Last year ran 7th at preliminary night competition. Comes around second time by. Does he improve? Yes, he does. 5th quick for the 12.584. 12.584, opening lap 13.084. Peels exactly a half a second off of his opening effort. The 24P onto the racetrack, that's Max Adams at Loomis, California. Driver the High Aspiration Farms, Hawkins Body Shop, Hand Design Performance Powder Coating, Rumpke, number 24P. 7 starts here at Lincoln Park Speedway and USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Competition. Comes around 29 quick with a 13.443 in his opening lap. His last Sprintacular start, 2023, where he ran 13th. His best performance here was in April of 2025 with a 7th place run. Lap number 2 for Adams is a little bit better, 13.281, still 28 quick. Silence no more beneath the hood of the number 21 AZ, the driver to Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Curb Records, Kodiak Products, Oakcraft, Elegant Cabinetry, Team Arizona, Quebec, Virginia, racer number 21 AZ. This is Gavin Miller. Gavin Miller, the number 21. Mechanical issue on that machine, keeping him from taking part in Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Goes 21st quick on his opening lap of the 12.971. Out of line, so he only gets 1 lap and no higher than the top 50. They're the lower 50% of the field, rather. in heat race lineups. And another driver that had problems early on as well out of Bordertown, South Australia, Hilton Rowett, McCarthy Transport, SM Motorsports EMI, Tullamore Speedway, Basalt number S46, making his USAC national debut. Brings her around here on lap number 1 and goes 33rd with a 14.567. So 5th quick tonight was Justin Grant. 4th was Kevin Thomas Jr. 3rd was Kyle Cummins. 2nd was Jaden Rogers. And your Learn Lab quick qualifier tonight with a time of 12.291 seconds at a Raisin City, California. The AME Electrical, Massive Valley Transportation, Reinbold Development, number 19 AZ. Give him a hand, Mitchell Moles. Sponsor for tonight's racing action, Mafioli Decks and Docks. We've got kids face painting going on down in the merch area. Other sponsors on the evening, Riddlebank, Sunbelt Rentals, U.S. Lawns, and Quality Roofing out of Terre Haute. As we have our Learn Lab quick qualifier down at the base of the grandstands, and Christy Leary standing by.
Mitchell Moles picking up yet another Learn Lab Fast Qualifying Award during the 2026 Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car season. This time for night number 1 of the Sprintacular at Lincoln Park Speedway. Mitchell, I think you might have been the only car in the entire field that was able to hit it on the cushion all the way around both laps consecutively. Was that everything there?
Yeah, just try not to go too hard. I feel like that's a lot of the anticipation is that you have to go too fast. So just make sure you hit your marks, make sure you don't get tight. And I did get tight a little bit on that first lap, but I was able to maintain it. So hats off to my guys. They continue to give me great race cars, and I can't thank them enough. All you great fans for coming out tonight. It's a wonderful weekend. You know, I mean, we're celebrating 250 years of freedom. So don't forget that's the reason why we're here, and don't forget to thank one of them servicemen that fought so hard to get us here.
It looks like we're going to get ourselves a pretty classic Lincoln Park Speedway tonight with a big cushion and what might end up being slick up to the cushion. Who knows what's to come? How closely do you have to watch the racetrack as the night progresses to make sure you're keeping up with it?
Yeah, that's not going away. The curve is, it's going to just develop more. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get harder to run. So I think the heat races will be around the bottom, pretty typical. Blow that stuff off the bottom where we can kind of go fast through there and get in people's way. So once that goes away, it turns into a cat and mouse game, and we've seen the bottom come in here a lot too. So excited for the feature and excited to just go work on my car and the opportunity to be here, obviously.
2 nearly perfect laps there for Mitchell Moles, your Learn Lab Fast qualifier for night number 1 of the Sprintacular here at Lincoln Park Speedway.
Congratulations, Mitchell. 34th time in his career he has been your Learn Lab quick qualifier. So sprint car hot laps and qualifying in the books. And now, the Bombers. So Dr. Sullivan's set to be back tomorrow. So apologize in advance if I trip up on your favorite driver's name here. Group qualifying here with the Bombers. Qualifying group number 1 should have Randy Foxworthy in the 77, Kyron Roundtree in the 00, the 4X of Michael Fish, the 14K of Katie Grigsby, the 17B of Brendan Berkla, the 37 of Evan Foxworthy, Scott Tidwell in the 55 and the 55B of Jake Byers, all set to be here in your opening flight of qualifying for the Bombers. 24 drivers checking in here on night number 1. So Bombers tonight, Super Stocks on the card tomorrow. So no inversion at play, but just like you would see with the Interstate Battery High Limit Series, the Fast Qualifier will simply be positioned down to the 4th starting spot in the heat race. It's not a complete inversion among the top 4 quickest. Drivers getting wound up here, and the green flag just about ready to fly for qualifying group number 1 for the Bombers. And there it is, the clock begins. Katie Grigsby going to end up with the quickest lap time. Opening lap was a 16.087. Tidwell ends up second quick at a 16.235, 16.507 for Byers. Fish swimming his way to a fourth quick time at a 16.527. Foxworthy, Roundtree, Berkla, and Evan Foxworthy. Second flight of group qualifying for the Bombers. Sheldon Oberle at a Battleground, Indiana. Chad Casesa out of Brazil, the 14C, the 01, Jeremy Ferris, Josh Litton in the 89. Dustin Petro out of Columbus in the 0. Roger Absher in the 2, the 3, Emma Mike Moody, and Jason Trimmer out of Indianapolis in the 372T. All set to be in this next flight of qualifying. For the Bomber Division, it is Josh Foxworthy who is your points leader by 29 over Katie Grigsby. Grigsby who was quickest in the opening flight of group qualifying. Oberle sitting third in points. Van Cleve, who is in action tonight, he'll be in the fourth flight of qualifying. He's currently sitting the third flight of qualifying, rather. Sitting fourth in points with Litton. Driver to Paragon, Indiana, currently sitting in fifth. And red flag, we got a bomber that just bombed over in turns 1 and 2. And driver crawling up and out of the car. Sheldon Oberle in the 105. Driver going for a tumble over in turns 1 and 2. So driver has the helmet off. We know he said he was okay earlier, but he's got the helmet off. Let him hear it over there and let him know you appreciate him being here. So we had a couple of drivers during Learn Lab qualifying got up and kind of showed us that the left sides can go up and go down. Unfortunately, the 105 showing us they can definitely go up and stay up. But folks, the good news, driver able to walk away unscathed. So we'll do a quick check of the oil. Make sure the washer fluid is good. Not sure about the blinker fluid. They're probably sold out of that. They'll go ahead and get the strap affixed to the front of that thing, get it pulled down into the pits. Crew going to go to work. Hopefully we'll see him in action here tonight. So again, a look at the points here in weekly competition for the Bomber class. Foxworthy, he has 1 win. Oberly at 4 trips to victory lane. Braden Keller has been on track. Has gone to victory lane here as well. 36 overall drivers have earned points here in the Bomber division at Lincoln Park Speedway. Of course, you can find those at LincolnParkSpeedway.com. You can also download the My Race Pass app, free to download in the Apple and Android market. If you do get the premium membership, that does come with live timing and scoring, and you can click and favorite your racetrack. So whether it's Lincoln Park, Circle City, Terre Haute Action Track, any one of those, make sure and favorite those. Anytime a track does an update, if they push live timing results, you'll get a push notification to let you know that there's something new for you to check out. So one of the cool features on MRP. So track cleared over in turns 1 and 2. You look at the 0 of Petro at Columbus, Indiana here on the speed shot, here on the front straightaway on the FloRacing broadcast. So a little bit of fluid dropping out of the 105 there as he sat on his side over in the middle of turns 1 and 2. They'll advise the drivers on the receiver and let them know that they need to go ahead and work that down to the racing surface here. It's always nice when they can take kind of a modern design of cars and take it to old school cool, and that's what we're looking at on the 3M here. All the modern amenities of the current rules package, but a better body. Looking around the track, and the 14C also absent, pulling off just as they were getting ready to go green earlier. So that driver will not receive a time. Problems for the 372T. Things cut short for Trimmer. So we'll wind them up, and we will restart this qualifying session here for the Bombers. So Petro going to be quickest here in your second group of qualifying, a 16.451. 16.488 for Absher. Ferris was third quick at a 16.788 and a 17.694 for Moody, the 105 and the 89, as well as the 372T, all not receiving a time. Brad Davis, the 441, going to pull out to the Speedway. Driver out of Coatesville, Indiana. The 13 of Josh Van Cleve out of Crawfordsville. The 44 of Terry Dean out of Rochdale. The 14 of Mark Smith out of Morgantown. Jason Trimmer, the second, the 72T out of Indianapolis. The 7, David Bumgarner, the second, out of Greencastle. Josh Foxworthy out of Marshall in the 38. And Dustin Brown out of Martinsville in the 7X, all set to be in this final qualifying group for the Bombers. Again, a big thank you again to tonight's sponsor, Maffioli Decks and Docks, and also track sponsors Riddlebank, Sunbelt Rentals, U.S. Lawns, and Quality Roofing out of Terre Haute. Don't forget kids face painting down in the merch area. So again, kids face painting down in the merch area. Of course, the concession stand is open and waiting for you. If you are enjoying an adult beverage this evening, please make sure you do so responsibly. Being a holiday weekend, it makes it even more important that you make sure that you make the right decision. Do not get behind the wheel, even if you are just buzzed, because guess what? They're still going to get you for drunk driving. Make sure you do not give law enforcement a reason to meet you on their terms. It's not going to end badly. It's not going to end well for you. So please do not drink and drive. Enjoy responsibly and have a way to get home this evening. Sugar Shack is open, so make sure kids go up, get nice and hopped up on sugar and Mountain Dew, head back to your parents so they can enjoy their night of racing. Josh Van Cleve, 15.952. He'll be your quick qualifier here in group number 3. Josh Foxworthy with 16.131. Mark Smith at a 16.291. Bumgarner at a 16.752. Davis at a 16.768. Trimmer at a 16.937. 17.557 for Dean, and Dustin Brown 20.090. So they'll bring the water truck out, going to take care of a little bit of the dust down on the apron of the Speedway. With that, here on the FloRacing broadcast, we're going to step away for a moment. We'll be back.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. Ames Oil specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Hey, can I get 4 guavas? No, the big ones. Thanks. Ignite your taste with new NOS Energy Grand Prix Guava. Buy it now at a store near you.
At Lucas Oil Center, we keep you moving with confidence. We've upgraded everything: faster oil changes, a thorough 21-point inspection, expert AC service, and preventative maintenance that keeps your car road ready. And now enjoy easier access to our signature Nitro Wash, so your ride shines bright all year long.
Looking for great service, a wide variety of Lucas Oil products, and racing oils, or looking for a location near you, contact us at lucasoilcenter.com.
Lucas Oil Center, service that goes the extra mile.
P1 Australia Racing Components, sprint cars, midgets, and micros, specializing in engine heaters, oil heat mats, stainless headers, and black titanium. World headquarters in Indianapolis and also serving New Zealand and Australia. P1 ships daily. Visit our website at p1australia.com. P1 Australia Racing Components. For pricing, info, and more, slide into our Facebook and Instagram.
scratch off tickets, so I went back to
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing. The horn has sounded for the drivers to make their way into the staging lane. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we would ask that you please rise for our invocation and national anthem. Have the Kids Club making their way down to the front straightaway. They're going to spread them out, hand out some flags. As they make their way down, if you would please remove cover. Out of respect to those who serve this nation and in honor of those who have given their lives in our defense, we turn to Chaplain Tim Spillman for tonight's invocation.
Can we pray? Father God, once again we pause. And we thank you for all your blessings and all of your love that you give to every home that's represented. We thank you for the opportunity of being here this evening. And I would ask that you would bless Tommy and Jenny Estes and every venue that they would put on at this facility. May it be a great success. We thank you for the military, Lord, that's standing around this world and on our shores to keep that freedom so we can assemble like we're doing tonight without fear, without trembling. And Lord, we ask you to bring them all home safe very soon. We thank you for all the sponsors that come along to help make all this possible. And now, Father, we ask you to bless and keep safe all of our drivers, crews, officials, and all of our fans. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. First of 3 nights of racing here across the Hoosier State. Of course, back here tomorrow and then Sunday, the Terre Haute Action Track for the Sumar Classic. Big cars. The USAC Silver Crown National Championship set to be on track. Cars sitting up in the push-off lane. The Toyota Racing Development Pace Truck making its way out to the Speedway lineup for K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. Set to roll out to the green like this. Driver slated for the pole position. Comes to you out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Driver the Curb Records Kodiak Products one-way DRC chassis number 21AZ. It'll be Gavin Miller. Second starting spot in 11 is going to be Wyatt Burks out of Topeka, Kansas. The wholesale batteries, Harris Fabrication. Donna XXX chassis number 11W. Second row from the inside, Austin Nye out of Greenfield, Indiana, the Billy's Tequila. Intellicent Chevrolet DRC chassis number 97. Outside of him is going to be Thomas Meseral out of San Jose, California. The Parts Authority, Knox Enterprises, J&D Chevrolet DRC Landon Simon Racing number 24. Fifth starter is Justin Grant out of Ione, California. Driver the NOS Energy Drink, Hibbyville Logistics, Top Industries number 4. Next to him, your Learn Lab Quick Qualifiers, Mitchell Moles out of Raisin City, California. The AME Electrical Massive LA Transportation, Rheinbold Development Incorporated, number 19AZ. CJ Leary from 7th out of Greenfield, Indiana. The Jarvis Enterprises, Foxco DRC chassis number 53, along with the 24P of Max Adams out of Loomis, California. The High Aspiration Farms, Rumpke, Ryan Myers DRC chassis number 24. Final starter, again in his USAC national debut out of Bordertown, South Australia. Hilton Rowett. In the McCarthy Transport, SM Motorsports Powered EMI chassis, the Salt number S46. As that'll be our scheduled lineup again for K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. So cars making their way out of the racing surface. Real quick, let's check in with Drake York.
Some drivers that had issues between Dirt Draft, Hot Laps, and Learn Lab qualifying here in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. Starting off with your pole sitter, Gavin Miller. They had a generator on the Magneto go pad on the 21AZ, so they swapped that out. Were able to make it out in time for Learn Lab qualifying. He went 21st fastest on the field. They even fired it back in the pit area after qualifying just to do a final systems check on it. He is good to go. You talked about Hilton Rowett starting shotgun on the field here. They were swapping out the mag yesterday. A few of the wires got crossed, so to speak. So that was the issue that they were dealing with throughout Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Got it sorted out for Learn Lab qualifying. So two drivers that, albeit on the opposite ends of the grid, but still both had problems between those two events to start off the evening here at Lincoln Park.
Thank you very much. And again, a reminder, was not in his original qualifying position. They have a 2-spot buffer there. But again, with the engine problems, not able to get out in time. So even if he wins the heat race, he cannot start any further than the lower half of the field. So 13th would be the highest he could start in the feature.
Right, so typically we see the heat race winners be eligible for those 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th starting spots. Not going to be the case tonight for Gavin Miller nor for Hilton Rowett.
So that comes back to where, oh, my car won't fire because you don't like the way the track is, so you try to go out and game the system. That is not the case. You see that, and we had that during the BC39 where with the passing points, if a driver scratches to the back or if the officials send him back, it's done from the final parade lap. Now, if you're sent to the back or you scratch, it's as if you're still in your original starting spot. So again, it's so the drivers can't manipulate the lineup, not that they ever would. But we're going to see how things play out here at the NOS Energy Start Can. The starting point, oh my, getting a little wild there. The 11. He got some bite. Unfortunately, nearly sent him down to the side of the number 21 AZ. Well, the mag's working good now. Contact back straightaway. Justin Grant hopped her up off of the left side of Austin Nye, but he sets her back down. We all keep rolling.
Gavin Miller going to lead this one. Wyatt Burke sitting in that second position, but Thomas Meserol looks to the inside now.
Meserol, his last appearance, Drake talked about it earlier with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Was a top 5 run, little bumper-on-bumper action there at the exit of turn at number 4. Burke's trying the bottom. It's going to be the Landon Simon race at number 24 on the high side saying, no way, I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this for the time being. Slide job at the 3rd spot. Here comes Moles. AMA Electrical 19 AZ up into the show position now. Burke's back to 4. Justin Grant currently running at your top 5 in the final transfer spot for heat race competition right now.
CJ Leary is 1 spot out looking in. Mitchell Moles is beginning to pull away from Wyatt Burks, who now has a bunch of company out of the 4, Justin Grant.
Everybody working kind of middle to bottom there from about 4th on back. Leader likewise, Gavin Miller. The one driver who is continually on the high side here is Thomas Meserol. He has been on the cushion at both ends. The high side getting a little dirty there as everybody kind of throws that material up there. Meserol going in, cleaning it off, trying to find something to grab onto and reel in the 21 AZ of Gavin Miller. Miller leads the way, putting lap number 6 in the books. 10 laps the distance in these heat races.
Justin Grant looks to the inside of Wyatt Burks for that 4th position, looking for a little bit of insurance. Wyatt Burks continuing to be able to hold him off.
Top of 3 and 4, starting to clean off a little bit here. As a change up at the front of the field might be coming. Through turns 3 and 4, Meserol closing quite a bit, but now Gavin Miller getting it all back here as they work onto the front straightaway, working around the S46 of Rowett. First time seeing him in USAC national competition, coming to us out of the nation of Australia here and just trying to get the car underneath them and get a little bit of a handle on it. Normally in wing competition. Comes around to the wave of the white flag, leader onto the back straightaway. My Meserol about skipped her off of the back stretch here, brings her back under control as Gavin Miller redeems his day a little bit here. Winner in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1, Thomas Meserol in 2nd, Mitchell Moles, Wyatt Burks, and Justin Grant. Those 5 drivers onto the feature event. Everybody else in the 5-star body semi-feature. That'll be CJ Leary, Max Adams, Austin Nye, and Hilton Rowett, unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Driver of the Curb Records, Kodiak Products, Oakcraft Elegant Cabinetry, number 21 AZ. Race fans, give him a hand, Gavin Miller. He'll bring it to a stop down here in Victory Lane. Let's go down to Drake York.
Gavin Miller with not only his first heat race win of 2026 behind the wheel of a USAC sprint car, but also his first career heat race win with the United States Auto Club in the National Sprint Car Division. And Gavin, of course, not going out in his allotted spot earlier in Learn Lab qualifying. So, Gavin, I imagine it's got to be a bit of a bittersweet feeling knowing that, hey, I just put together a great heat race run, but I can't really utilize the benefits that it gets me. Just talk about that, how that may feel a little bit bittersweet for you and this team.
Yeah, it definitely sucks, having some problems there, but I'm glad we got that fixed and, showed that speed there. So, I'm thankful for this team and be able to do this. So, I'm excited to go in the feature.
Gavin Miller, G-Millie, as he is known these days, gets the win in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1.
Thank you very much. So when we look him up on SoundCloud, that's what we'll look for. In the meantime, TJ Ford's heat race number 2 going to make its way out into the Speedway, where Cale Coons out of Greencastle, Indiana, driver of the Kurt Breckers Mechanical Advantage. Coletta Charters number 63 is going to lead him down to the drop of the green flag. Outside of him, Austin Corey at Morristown, Indiana, the Browns Oil Service. Celebration Child Care Ministries at DRC number 49 will line up in second. The 4C from the third starting spot, Dalen Chambers out of Bowling Green, Indiana. The Spike Motorsports Unlimited, Chambers, number 4C, with the 3R of Harley Burns going from the fourth starting spot. Burns out of Brazil, Indiana, driver of the Rock City Racing, Britt Arrow, Timberland Lumber Company. The Ace Corp number 3R. The G5, a Gunnar Setzer, next driver in line from the fifth starting spot out of Columbus, Indiana. The Setzer Fabricating, Stanton Mach1 Chassis, Aviation Tax Consultants, Lee Company Incorporated, number G5. Next to him, the 14 of Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana. The Beasley's Railcar Repair, American Dream Racing, Parallax Motorsports, number 14. Colin Parker in 16 out of Martinsville, Indiana. The Smith Small Engine, GTCarts.com, G&G Oil, number 16K. He'll go from 7th. From 8th, it'll be Troy Carey at Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia. Over the Skyline Building, Supos Hog Heaven, number 45 in. Final starter set to be Kevin Klonfelter out of Rockville, Indiana. Powered by the Wallet, a Dave Pepperak Racing engine and a DRC chassis on the number 79.
So you saw drivers in K1 race gear heat race number 1 really able to use a bunch of different parts of the racetrack. We saw Thomas Meserol being able to sort of run that self-slider line and get a lot of speed generated around the top, and we saw some drivers in those 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions pretty much utilizing mostly the bottom of the racetrack.
Toyota Racing Development pace truck bringing the field through turns 1 and 2. Caution lights will go dark. Pace vehicle going to make its way down into the infield. Don't forget to swing by the USAC merchandise trailer right about now, because you still have an opportunity to sign up to be tonight's AMSOIL Inside the Oval winner. We'll call that following our heat races. In the meantime, to the NOS Energy Star Can. Coons finds the throttle, brings him around, and we're underway. Rolls the bottom side into turns 1 and 2. The 49 of Corey got a little bit better run into 1, but it's going to be Coons on the inside with the advantage going into turns 3 and 4. Coons going to lead the opening lap. Here comes the Britt Arrow number 3R. Quickly up into the second spot, rolls Harley Burns. Now 3 wide for third. Burns bounces her off of the cushion. We're going to go try and maybe go 3 wide for second. We do go side by side. Down to the inside goes the 14. No, the G5, excuse me. That is going to be Setzer. Has the third spot. The 14's right behind him now as they're side by side for the runner-up position onto the back straightaway. 3R trying to go down and maybe take the line a little bit, kind of block that inside line just a tick here. Setzer still right there to his inside. Rogers and Corey getting shuffled all the way back to the final transfer spot.
Jaden Rogers really the first car in this lineup that's utilizing the top side of the racetrack, generating a ton of speed up there. Gunnar Setzer kind of slides up and blocks that line. He continues trying to close that gap between himself and Harley Burns.
Hard on the cushion at turn number 1, trying to bring some momentum around to the back straightaway. Does he find clean racetrack to go after Gunnar Setzer? He's going to go ahead and change tactics and tries the middle groove this time through turns 3 and 4. Setzer off of the cushion of the 4th turn. He's going to swap his line around over into turns 1 and 2 as the 14 bounces her hard onto the back straightaway. They'll swap lines again. This time Jaden Rogers going deep into 3, brings it across the nose of Setzer. He'll take that third spot to the front straightaway.
Jaden Rogers carrying a ton of speed right now and a lot of momentum. Gunnar Setzer not letting him get out of his sight too soon. Gunnar Setzer sort of runs Jaden Rogers up to the very top of the racetrack. Rogers is up and over in turn number 3.
So crew in a very interesting position. The car landing very precarious. Smashing the tail tank down and just in kind of a leaning tower of Pisa situation.
And much
there.
like the bomber landed in a strange way as well.
So quickly up and out of the car, Jaden Rogers, okay. So Drake York down, checking out the action, and We saw Jaden immediately just put his hand up like, nope, I'm not talking right now.
No, and obviously don't blame him for that. As Jaden, just glad to see that he's okay after this scary accident down here in turn number 3. You talked about the tail tank and the bumper being damaged on the rear end. For the moment, that's really the only obvious damage I can see. We'll let Jaden and the crew take this car back apart pit side and really assess what the true damage of this race car is. But from the looks of it right now, once again, we're getting a good look at the rear end of this race car. Everything looks pretty square and structurally sound. But like I said, we'll let the crew take this car back to the pit area and assess what damage there truly is. But like we were just talking about there, Brian, Jaden politely declining a chat with us here on FloRacing, but just glad to see he's all right.
Thank you very much. And exit 2, yeah, they were close, but going into 3, I mean, Gunnar had already started to peel down, and Jaden just not getting down quick enough, and unfortunately you see the outcome of that.
Yep, so sets are split to the bottom right in the middle point of the backstretch, and left Jaden Rogers plenty of room up there. And once you get up toward that berm and it grabs onto the right rear, sometimes it can just be so difficult to get back over the top of it and get back onto the racing surface.
And we've seen a couple of tracks, and Bloomington's another good example where if you slip off of that top, it's going to pull you down there. Out in Pennsylvania, Big Dime is another good example out there. We saw a couple of drivers kind of slip off of the back, and there, though, you've got a guardrail you're going at into turn 3, so you have to be very careful to get back into position.
Yep, so Gunnar Setzer going to hang on to what should be the 3rd position now, taking that over.
So Cale Coons leading, Harley Burns in 2nd, Setzer in 3rd, Austin Corey and Colin Parker now going to move up into a transfer spot. Setzer last year 12th in preliminary competition. His best here during Indiana Sprint Week was a 9th place run, a 3-time starter here in Lincoln Park Speedway with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. Last time we saw him on track was during the Circle City Salute, a 19th place finish. Best run on the season at the start of the year back in Ocala was a 9th. Overall, across USAC national and regional events, midget and sprint car, 25 starts, 1 win, 3 top 5s, 15 top 10s on the season for Setzer. As they come back to life through the NOS Energy start cam, backing away, Cale Coons in command.
Gunnar Setzer right back to the top of the racetrack, looks to the outside of Harley Burns, who does take that line away. Now Setzer dives to the inside.
Setzer finding the break off into turns 3 and 4, resets her down to the bottom side of the speedway. Mach 1 versus Mach 1 here as they work into turns 1 and 2. Advantage going to be the G5, the 3R, the Rock Steady Racing entry going to fall to 3rd. The 16K of Colin Parker by Austin Corey. Now Corey has company from Dalen Chambers. The 4 gets her up on the cushion, right rear nearly clears it though. As we have 2 laps to go, about to be 1 to go, and a ton of smoke starting to pour out of the 16. Something just went painfully wrong under the hood. Clears it down into the infield, and we stay green. Challenge maybe into turns 3 and 4 for the top spot here. Coons has it. Setzer trying to take it away. Advantage will be to Cale Coons. He'll get the job done here in TJ Ford's heat race number 2. Gunnar Setzer closing quickly, was able to get there fast enough, settles for 2nd. Harley Burns, Dalen Chambers, and Austin Corey, those 5 drivers unofficially moving on to the feature event. Troy Carey, Kevin Clodfelter, Colin Parker, and Jaden Rogers unofficially rounding out your field. That's your winner, ladies and gentlemen. He comes to you out of Greencastle, Indiana. Driver the Kurt Breckers Mechanical Advantage. Coletta Charters, Neil Tyer, Joe Doolin, Kurt Begajanian, number 63. Give him a hand, Cale Coons. Make his way around to the front straightaway to get a word with Genevieve Malone here in just a moment. Gunnar Setzer in 2nd, Harley Burns, Dalen Chambers, Austin Corey again. The remainder of the drivers who have transferred on directly into our feature event. He'll work on getting the safety equipment off, and a little bit of a challenge there coming down to the end, Genevieve.
Yes, Gunnar Setzer right on his tail for Cale Coons, but he is a winner here. His first career local win was at Lincoln Park Speedway, but the big question is, did you realize just how close Gunnar was getting nearing the end?
Yeah, you know, going into the heat race, I didn't really know where the line was. Everybody in the last one was kind of running everywhere, so just kind of was trying stuff out, and I felt like I heard him on the top of 1 and 2, so I went up there at the end. Yeah, and then the last lap just tried to contain him down and keep the spot coming to the line so I could start decent in this feature. Yeah, couldn't thank all my guys enough for getting me out here, and ready for those 30 laps.
The leading rookie of the year, Cale Coons, winning the TJ Ford Heat Race 2.
Colin Parker, who was in a transfer spot late there in heat race number 2. Of course, we saw him slow to a stop on the infield very near the end of that race, or very close to the end of that race, rather. He told me, I think the motor just let go. That's a tough break for the 16K crew, Brian and Christy.
Indeed, thank you very much. As we roll into K&N Filters heat race number 3, Brandon Maddox out of Terre Haute, Indiana, the Whitman Roofing TCB Speed North Gressman DRC number 28, slated for the pole position. Next to him should be Wesley Smith out of Nixon, Missouri, the Dryden Engine Connection, Shanae Lawson number 44. Third starting spot's going to be Logan Seavey out of Southern California, the Mount Mechanical Contractors, Droplight Abacus Forecheck Marketing number 57. And from 4th, all the way from Snohomish, Washington, driver of the Pit Logic FG3 Power DRC, Elevate Race Media number 83C, that will be Chance Crum. This starter in 39 is going to be Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, driver of the East Snyder & Sons Recycling, Keystone Cap, Boulevard Truck Repair number 39, and the 3P of Kyle Cummins, slated to go from the 6th starting spot at Princeton, Indiana, the Avanti Windows and Doors Jugo Superfoods Premier Recycling number 3P. Ivan Glotzbach in the I-1 out of Fillmore, Indiana. He will go from 7th and from 8th out of Roberts, Kentucky, the G-Nick Construction number 10 of Eric Gentry. As that'll be your scheduled lineup again for K&N Filters heat race number 3.
Some tough breaks all around there in TJ Ford's heat race number 2. Obviously, Drake just talked about Colin Parker, and he had a pretty good night going that he was putting together. And then for Jaden Rogers, he was second fast in Learn Loud qualifying, which will put him on the front row of the 5-star body semi-feature event, should they get that car turned around for that.
Yeah, the good thing about that is your first 2 starters in the 5-star body semi-features you alluded to, quicker going to the pole, the second quick going to the outside, and that is regardless of, even if we had a D main, you would be up there. So one of the ways your qualifying time, it does come back to really help you as the night goes on. Got old Miss Shirley checking in back in Sperry, Oklahoma. If you've ever called for Chili Bowl tickets, you've talked to Miss Shirley. There's Miss Donna Hahn also checking out all the action here tonight. Field set to get after it. Maddox in 28, Smith in 44 on the front row. Going to bring him around to the NOS Energy start can. Green light going to come on as they make their way into turns at 1 and 2. And it's going to be followed quickly by the caution. Officials not happy with that one.
So that's going to move Logan Seavey to the front row. Brandon Maddox getting called on that one.
Just a little too quick.
It looked like a quick little start there.
So the Dryden 44 down to the pole now. The Abacus Mountain Mechanical Contractor 57 to the outside of row number 1. Again, Maddox going from 1st to 3rd in the TCB Speed North at number 28. So we'll try it again. Officials want side-by-side, nose to tail, as close as possible when they come around to that point. Better look at start this time as they work onto the front straightaway. We're after it. Seavey up top, going to take the advantage of it here as he rolls off into turns 3 and 4, brings her down to the middle groove of the entry at 3, brings her wide of the exit turn number 4 to lead lap number 1. 44 running in 2nd, Maddox running in the 3rd spot right now. The battle going to be for 4th, the 39 of Danner trying to hold on to that from the 3P of Kyle Cummins here as they make their way into turns 3 and 4. Danner working down low, now looking for 3rd.
Chance Crum had got hung out just a little bit there on the cushion in turns number 4. That allowed Kyle Cummins and Briggs Danner to get by, and now Cummins looks to the outside of Danner and gets a good run on the top.
The Avanti Windows and Doors number 3P puts her up on the cushion and gets her wound up, takes the 3rd spot here to the front straightaway. Last time out for the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship, he was at victory lane, quickly takes over the 2nd spot here. Drops the 44 of Wesley Smith back to 3rd. Maddox with Danner still giving chase. Here comes the 28 trying the inside. Does he have the run of the back straightaway? Not quite. The Dryden number 44 with a better run off the cushion now. Going to protect the slide over in turns 3 and 4. Danner, every time he's gotten a little bit of room to run, the door getting shut on him now. Big slide job as Danner about hops her over the cushion, holds on to it, and about saves his night.
The battle for the lead is heating up as Kyle Cummins just got to the inside of Logan Seavey. Logan Seavey knows he's there. Now Cummins continues to look to the bottom.
Pair of USAC National Sprint Car Champions working the back straightaway. Seavey bringing her down a little bit as he worked into turn number 3, trying to keep his momentum built up off of the cushion, but it's all for naught. Kyle Cummins going to come by on the inside as they come around to quick lap number 7. Your defending champion and current points leader up to the top spot here in the 3. Roll 6 to 1st. At K&N Filters heat race number 3 is Seavey back to second. Maddox running in third. Then it's going to be the 44 of Wesley Smith and the 39 of Briggs Danner right now running in transfer spots. Wave of the white flag, 1 to go. Instead, caution. And reports of debris on the track. It's like Rizzy jumping off of the Indy Power Sports four-wheeler and getting something dug out of the cushion there. Problems for the 10. Looks like out of the corner of my eye, saw him heading down to the pits. And Drake, what do you got?
Yeah, Eric Gentry, as you mentioned, Brian, pulling off the racetrack. The Nerf bar on the left side corner is damaged and basically was just acting as almost like a shovel into the racetrack, just digging up all sorts of dirt and debris on the racetrack. So Eric making the wise decision to pull that car off the racetrack. We'll see him in the 5-star body semi-feature on this evening.
So I have to wonder there as he came to a stop at the cushion, Glotzbach coming in making contact, if that didn't maybe pull something off of the car, so having to go under yellow so the officials could go up and remove a piece. Flat left rear on the 39 of Briggs Danner. He'll head down to the Indy Metal finishing work area as we were just about ready to get this one back underway. And looks like maybe an issue on your leader as well. Look like the right rear maybe getting a little soft here. Maddox going up and motion into him. And we're going to come around and get a look. And yeah, the right rear sidewall is getting a little wonky. Still got air, but how long can it hold as the caution lights are going to go dark? He is trying to keep the RPMs up, trying to get the air belt back up and stay out there. So a 2-lap dash to the finish. We'll see if he can make the distance here as they come off near the NOS Energy start can. We're underway. Now, this becomes an issue for your leader because that thing, look how hard it's leaned over the right side. Now the danger here is digging in when he goes into the turn.
So blood in the water for Logan Seavey. He knows that Kyle Cummins has got an issue, and he's going to take advantage here. Logan Seavey takes the lead with the white flag.
Comes around. He'll fall to second. The 57 going to go to the race lead. Maddox now going to work to his inside. Cummins just trying to limp that thing to the checkered flag and stay in a transfer spot. Looks like he just might get it done as they work around to the drop of the checkered flag. Logan Seavey taking advantage to get the job done here in K&N Filters heat race number 3. Brandon Maddox, Kyle Cummins, Wesley Smith, Chance Crum. They're moving on to your feature event. Glotzbach, Danner, and Gentry into the 5-star bodies semi-feature. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, out of Sutter, California, the Mount Mechanical Contractors, Drop Line Indy Power Sports Abacus number 57. Give him a hand, Logan Seavey. So the issue with the 10, debris over there, and then 2 drivers with flats, and officials calling for a check of the racing surface here before we go into our Indy Power Sports heat race number 4. Logan Seavey going to get the safety equipment off and get a word with Drake.
Logan Seavey gets the win here in K&N Filters heat race number 3. Kind of got 2 Christmas presents there. The first on the start, and then with Kyle Cummins having a flat right rear late in that one. Logan, was this heat race just one of those that you would rather be lucky than good?
Yeah, I don't know what you call it, but yeah, certainly everything went the way it needed to for us to have a shot tonight. So yeah, I wasn't even looking, at Kyle's tire, and Brandon kind of bowled up, and I saw it, and yeah, luckily I'm sure he was able to at least hold on to the transfer for that one. So yeah, I caught a break there. Just want to give a shout out to the Harvey family and Chris, Michelle, everybody that supports this. John, I know he probably wishes he could be here, but he's got some family stuff he's dealing with, and I just want to say hi to John, and also big shout out to Flint McVeigh. It's his birthday today, and I told him I would hopefully get him a shout out in victory lane, but this is my first interview of the night, so I'm gonna do it now, and then hopefully I can do it again later.
Logan Seavey, last year's winner of night number 1 of the Sprintacular, gets the job done in K&N Filters heat race number 3.
Thank you very much. Seavey's 7th heat race win of the season for the driver of the number 57 as we'll roll into our final heat race here for the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship, and it's brought to you by Indy Power Sports. Driver on the pole, Last year was runner-up in your feature event, the AME Electrical Reinbold Development Incorporated, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Jugo Superfoods, number 19. It'll be Hayden Reinbold. Outside of him, the Madman, Robert Ballou to Rockland, California, the Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Brooks Western Telecom, Hinchman Indy, number 12. Jake Swanson in the 5 out of Anaheim, California. The Inland Rigging, Darty Motorsports, Naked Enterprises, Roll Scaffolding. Doughboys LLC, Burris Racing, number 5T will roll from 3rd. From 4th, it'll be Chase Stockton out of Fort Branch, Indiana. The England Machine and Tool, Moments by Morgan. Lucas Oil Center, Phil and Eileen King, S&T Auto, number 92. Tony Helton out of Spencer, Indiana. The Ace Corp, AJ Felker Racing Engine, DRC Chassis, number 87 will roll from 5th. From 6th, it'll be Kevin Thomas Jr. out of Coleman, Alabama. The Inland Rigging, Metal Finishing, BBI Motorsports, Smith Titanium, number 15. The 99J out of Greencastle, Indiana, the DRC Chevrolet, Mike Johnson owned Witz Lawn Care, number 99 of Kyle Johnson. And your final starter set to be the 29 OG of Tom Eller. Out of Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, Lake County Hose, Cowlicks, Cones, and Floats, EMI Chevrolet 604, number 29 OG.
So you mentioned that Hayden Reinbold had sort of a banner weekend here last year, which sort of set off what would be the next 3 national wins he would pick up. Still looking for a national win with the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series.
He got it done to Silver Crown. First attempt, and what a ride that was for him to go a lap down, get it back, and then race up to the win in the closing lap.
It was a ride for everybody.
That was a crazy one. Then gets Indiana Midget Week win recently at Circle City. Still, see if he can get the job done here in sprint cars. They work around to the NOS Energy start can. Even at the can, and we'll see if they work on the back straightaway. It will be Robert Ballou who had the better start. He's going to take off with it here in 12.
It was a quick start for the 12. He just got going a little bit faster than Hayden Reinbold did. Now Jake Swanson going to try to take advantage of that as well. Swanson building up some momentum on the bottom.
Driver of the 5, your BC39 Rookie of the Year, making his way onto the back straightaway. Going to work on the 19 here. It continues to be Reinbold holding that position, but not for long. The Inland Rigging Snake Enterprise number 5T going to roll by. He'll take that spot away here. The 92 is Stockin running in the 4th spot. Kevin Thomas Jr. starting to the outside looking in. He's up into 5th and in the final transfer spot currently. So KTJ debuting that car at Butler. On the national scene, that one, the car he had been in down with the CRA and Arizona's Southwest Sprint Car Series, has a trio of wins down there. And talking to one of the car owners and saying, you know, after Butler, we knew it wasn't right. It wasn't where it needed to be. They went to the chassis dyno, did some work on it. Much better start to the 9th than what he had up in Michigan.
Stockin put the slide on Reinbold. Now KTJ puts the slide on Reinbold. He takes over the 4th spot. Hayden Reinbold sits in that 5th and final transfer spot. Kyle Johnson closing that gap quickly.
Johnson up to his back bumper here as they work onto the back straightaway. In the meantime, your lead around to the front straightaway. Robert Ballou in Rockland, California, leads the way. The 5T running a second, the 92, the 15, and the 19. It is Ballou, Swanson, Stockin, KTJ, and Reinbold. Still your top 5 into the closing lap just beyond the halfway point here. And that final transfer spot is still up for grabs. Kyle Johnson lurking on the back bumper of the AME Electrical number 19.
Kyle Johnson currently looking to the outside of Hayden Reinbold. Tony Helton had been trying out the top side of the racetrack. I think it bit back once or twice now. Johnson gets a good run on Reinbold, dives down and protects it. He takes over that 5th spot.
Gets the momentum built up. Reinbold like he's just having to wait on the car. Rolls it in. He's got good speed on entry, but you can see the car just kind of has to wait and grab on the back straightaway as they come around the way with the white flag and 1 to go. Ballou has worked by the slower number 29 of the back straightaway. Swanson trying to close, but the time has run out. And the Madman, winner in Indy Power Sports Heat Race number 4. Jake Swanson going to cross in 2nd. Battle for 3rd coming down to the line. Stockin over KTJ with Kyle Johnson taking the final transfer spot unofficially. Tony Helton, Hayden Reinbold, and Tom Aller unofficially rounding out your field. So he'll pull down onto the front straightaway, winner in Indy Power Sports Heat Race number 4 out of Rockland, California. The Suburban Subaru, Dean's Waterfront Services, Factory Kane, Immigrant, roof number 12. Give him a hand, the Madman, Robert Ballou. He'll get the helmet off, and Genevieve Malone going to get a word with our Heat Race winner.
Yes, and we saw Robert Ballou win here last time USAC visited here at Lincoln Park Speedway. Robert, what about this track that suits you so well?
Tommy Estes puts his heart and soul into this place, and obviously it shows. It's the summer heat's got it a little slicker than we would like for this point in the night, but obviously he'll work his magic here shortly, and hopefully we can get our ducks back in a row. We missed a few things early in the night and got us off balance, but this heat race win obviously gives us a shot in the arm that we obviously needed. This Berks Western Telecom Suburban Subaru Deaton's Waterfront Service DRC is really fast right now. These FK shocks got me stuck into the racetrack really good, and hopefully we can put a hell of a show on for you fans. It seems that we need a 100-mile blackout because all the fans stayed home because of the heat. But thank all you fans that did come out here and bear this heat. I know that Tommy Estes will do his job, and we'll put one hell of a show on for you guys.
Robert Ballou taking that Indy Power Sports Heat Race 4.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll have the Bombers making their way into the staging lane. Again, 24 drivers on hand, all 24 scheduled to go on into their feature event. Scott Tidwell out of Bloomingdale, Indiana, the 55 slated for the pole here in your opening Bomber heat race. Jake Byers out of Bloomington in the 55B lining up next to him. Michael Fish out of Worthington in the 4X from the third starting spot. Katie Grigsby, who was the quick qualifier here in heat race number 1, will go from the 4th spot out of Spencer. Randy Foxworthy out of Marshall, Indiana, the 77, the 00 of Kyron Roundtree out of Lafayette, Indiana, goes from 6th. From 7th, it will be Brendan Berkla out of Mooresville, and the 37 of Evan Foxworthy out of Marshall, Indiana, slated to round out your field. Lights will come on as the sun starts to make its way towards the western horizon. So don't forget to make your way back into Merchandise Row, again, just outside of the main entrance. Of course, first stop has to be the USAC merchandise trailer. All the 2026 race day must-have gear. Ballou, Jaden Rogers, CV Moles, KTJ, Swanson, Leary, they are all set up out there waiting for you to go up and grab some brand new merchandise. K1 Race Gear is proud to be one of the very few companies to outfit any driver from kids at K1 Speed to USAC champions. Where K1 Race Gear and join their list today. Learn more at K1RaceGear.com. TJ Ford's Wheels was founded to be the best no-compromise Ford's wheels for the motorsports industry. Product quality, safety, and customer service are the driving factors for TJ Ford's, and they're committed to being your first and only call for racing wheels. Go to TJFords.com to get started today. Whether you're running a go-kart, a micro, midget, modified, sprint car, late model, silver crown, or a tractor, Rod & Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field of performing to your maximum potential. Remember, they don't just sell them, they race them. Visit rodandsupply.com for more. Parallax Group offers world-class power supply products to the RV industry. Parallax Group delivers high-quality assembly and manufacturing solutions in North America that exceed client expectation, focusing on quality and efficiency to ensure their products lead the industry. Go to parallaxgroupinc.com for more. Max Pappas Innovations takes every aspect of construction and safety to heart in the most accurate and dedicated way possible. For more info, go to maxpappasinc.com. Indy Metal Finishing is the sponsor of the Work Area in USAC National Competition. Their mission to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Visit them today at indymetalfinishing.com. Again, a thank you to Maffioli Decks and Docks for sponsoring this weekend's racing action here at Lincoln Park Speedway as we go to green in heat race number 1 for the Bombers. See who has the advantage here on lap number 1. It will be the 55 of Tidwell who leads. Byers crossing in second. Grigsby, Fish, and Roundtree. Right now, your top 5. Roundtree a little bit too much into the cushion. That opens the door for the 37 of Foxworthy to make his way by here as they work into turns 3 and 4. Another driver hard up at the cushion. That was the 14. Grigsby peeling a little bit of the cushion up over in turns 3 and 4. Brings it back under control here as they work onto the far side of the speedway. Tidwell in the 55. In command here, Bat a little bit further back on the racetrack as they exit turn number 2, the 00 of Roundtree and the 37 of Evan Foxworthy. The advantage right now to the 37 here as they work off into turns 1 and 2. Up front continues to be the 55 machine. 8 laps the distance here in these bomber heat races. Tidwell continuing to lead in the number 55. Consistent run so far this season, a best of third twice. Back on May 9th and May 23rd as we go side by side to the back straightaway battle for the show position. The 4X of Michael Fish. Opening the gills and flapping the fins here, trying to get by on the inside. Got to swim on by here. Grigsby. Got to go back to where she started here. Falls in line as they work down the back straightaway. Now going to break rank and try the bottom here as they work through turns 3 and 4. In the meantime, your leader coming around to the wave of the white flag. Byers in the 55B trying everything to try to close in on your leader, but all for naught here as they work into turns 3 and 4. One last time, heat race number 1 for the Bombers going to be in the books here, and Scott Tidwell going to get the win here. Byers in second, Fish, Grigsby, and change up for the 5th spot, Roundtree. Takes it back, coming to the drop of the checker flag. Foxworthy, Evan, Randy, and then Berkla unofficially running out your field. So he'll head to the scales in the Foxworthy race at number 55. Give him a hand, Scott Tidwell. Winner in heat race number 1 for the Bombers. Byers in second, Fish, Grigsby, and Roundtree 5th. Coming to the drop of the checkered flag. Heat race number 2 sitting down in the staging lane. And looks like this one going to be minus a few here. Absher and Ferris were slated for row number 1. Moody and Petro in row number 2. Litton and Trimmer in row number 3. Oberle and Casassa were all scheduled to be here in heat race number 2. So we'll see who all makes it out here and give you a fresh lineup. So it looks like the 01 of Ferris has made the call. The 3M of Moody has made the call. The 0 of Petro out to the Speedway. The 89 of Litton and the 14C of Casassa. So the 3M going to go up to the pole position. Set to go here to the front straightaway, wave of the green flag, and immediately 3 wide for the race lead. He saw the green and he said, I'm going for it. We'll see if they're going to let that one stand. They're not. So the starting point for these drivers is not the NOS Energy start can, it's the cone at the final tire exiting turn number 4. So we'll see if the officials adjust the lineup at all here. So the 3M and the 01 will give him another shot here. Amsoil inside the oval winner tonight is Corbin Duty. Corbin Duty, you and a guest need to report to the USAC merchandise trailer. Not only are you the winner, but getting word that it is Corbin's first time at a USAC National Sprint Car event, making the trip into Marion, Illinois. So we'll send him onto the back straightaway, and they try for 4 wide. They're going to go 3 wide for the race lead. The 0 going to shoot the gap up to the cushion here. The bottom is there in play for the 89, but who's going to have the advantage? Lap number 1, Petro, going to come around with it in 0. Things getting all kinds of fun at the front of the start of this one. Petro, Linton, Moody, Ferris. That's how they cross the line. The 0-1 going to take the 3rd spot here. We've got one rolling slow and now turning down to the infield. That's the 14. 14C going to clear. Look out. Lost a handle on the 0-1. Gets it back, though. As up front, rolls the 0. Dustin Petro leading the way here. First time this season here to Lincoln Park, according to my race pass. Paragon back in April, Brownstown back on May 2nd. So 3rd outing of the season, a 6th and a 15th place finish so far on the season, as we will drop the donuts in the fryer over in turn number 2, the 0-1. Going to orbit the racetrack. And just like Pluto, not quite making a full rotation, so we'll get him refired back on track and back underway. 4 in, 4 to go here in the Bombers in heat race number 2. Again, Corbin Duty, you are tonight's Amsoil Inside the Oval winner. You and a guest need to report to the USAC merchandise trailer. Four in, 4 to go. Let's try it again. Zero one going to try to make up that lost spot here as they work into turns 3 and 4. Round the inside, up across the nose here, going to retake it. Ferris quickly get back into the 3rd spot, but Petro been pretty much untouchable here. They went 4 wide, 3 wide, side by side. He ran right through the middle, was able to get into the race lead on the opening lap, comes around and clicks off lap number 6, 2 to go in Bomber Heat Race number 2. Nice and smooth off of the cushion here. Does get her just a little bit sideways, turns her down to the middle groove, and comes around to the wave of the white flag. Oh, the driver in second all over that cushion. Thought he was going to sail it off the top of the racetrack there for just a second. As he makes his way off of turn number 4, checkered flag, falls heat race number 2, Petro. It's the heat race win. Litton going to cross in second. Ferris and Moody, the 4 drivers on track here for heat race number 2 in the Bombers. He'll head down to the scales. A heat race winner. Race fans, give him a hand. Dustin Petro in 0. Final Bomber heat race set to roll out. Josh Foxworthy at a Marshall in the 38 from the pole position. Mark Smith, not the one from Pennsylvania. We're talking about the one from Morgantown. In the 14 going from second. Jason Trimmer the second out of Indianapolis. The 72T going to go from 3rd. Josh Van Cleve at a Crawfordsville. The 13 going to go from 4th. David Bumgarner the second at a Greencastle in the 7 from 5th. From 6th, the Brad Davis at a Coatesville in the 441. Terry Dean at a Rochdale in the 44, and the 7X of Dustin Brown is set to round out your field. And getting word the 7X has scratched from this heat race. Sitting over in the staging lane, but got the Jeep behind him, so they're going to go ahead and get him cleared and head him down to the pits. Horn has sounded in the pits for the 5-star body semi-feature event for the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. So that 8-minute clock has begun. Top 4 from the semi-feature. We'll move on into tonight's preliminary A main here in the Sprintacular. But before that, final bomber heat race goes to green. Going to look at the lineup as they came around, and officials confirming, and Mark Smith also absent, was slated to go over the outside of row number 1. They're still side by side for the top spot here. Good battle to start things off. The 38 has it. The 13 wants it. It's going to be Foxworthy over Van Cleve right now. Van Cleve buries it up on the cushion, gets the right rear wound up, gets the bite to the back straightaway by 3/4. Now a full car as they work into turns 3 and 4. Has her wound up, moving, shaking, and rumbling here onto the front straightaway. Leads in 13. Van Cleve, second on lap number 1, leads on lap number 2. Foxworthy trying down to the inside, pulls up right beside him once again. Pair of battles, first through fourth, all up for grabs. The 441 working the bottom side, change to the front one more time. It's going to be the 38 of Foxworthy now taking over. Van Cleve not done with the cushion. Goes after it again, but the caution. Going to ruin a good race here. We've got one sitting the wrong way. '72, a Trimmer who was in that battle with Davis for the 3rd spot. Going to drop to the tail here. What a race we got going at the front of the field. Foxworthy and Van Cleve actually absolutely putting on a show so far. Bombers are booming here in heat race number 3. Nose to tail. From the middle of 3 and 4, they could fire at any point. Ooh. Pulls up inside of your leader here. Officials saying that was close. They're going to go ahead and go yellow. They're going to try it again. So bringing it back, the 13 getting to the inside just a little bit too soon there. And the officials are going to go ahead and dock him a position here. So officials on the receiver telling the 441 to go ahead and get to second. So the leader can pick up the pace anywhere from there to the exit turn number 4, but they must stay in line to that point right there, where that cone is, at the exit turn number 4. So 13 was in the active advancing position. Officials do call it back. So now he has the obstacle of the 441 of Brad Davis to contend with here. Better start here to the exit turn number 4. And boy, the 38, Foxworthy, going to take full advantage. Just absolutely launches it into the cushion on the restart into turns 1 and 2. Not quite that high over in turns 3 and 4 here. The 441 holds on to second. The 13 of Van Cleve, who had been right up there, thought maybe he was going to have a little better speed on the restart. Not the case here. The 72 going late model style onto the back straightaway, trying to lead the left front at home here. Trimmer, he just about trimmed the left front off that thing right now. He's got that buried hard on the right side. Soft springs are working for the Spartan Service Group, number 72. He's going to try to see if he can get up a battle for the 3rd spot. A little bit of smoke into the back of the 13 of Van Cleve there a little bit. Looks like subsiding for the moment as your leader comes around to click off lap number 6. It'll be 1 to go next time at the exit of the 4th turn. Foxworthy, Davis, Van Cleve, Trimmer, Bumgardner. That's how they roll onto the far side of the racetrack. To the near side of the racetrack, Foxworthy with 1 to go. Race for 3rd. Down to the inside goes the 72. It's going to be Van Cleve with the advantage, though, as they work off into turns 1 and 2. Absolutely hanging the left front high. Goes for 3rd onto the back straightaway. Leader off at turn number 4. Checkered flag going to be for Josh Foxworthy in this one. 2nd going to the 441. And what a move with a digging right rear in the 72. Josh Trimmer gets 3rd. Van Cleve and Bumgardner unofficially rounding out your field. So your winner in your final Bomber Heat Race. Out of Marshall, Indiana, driver the number 38. Give him a hand, Josh Foxworthy. Gets the job done. Worst finish on the season so far has been a 4th. That was back on June 19th. Pair of seconds, a win, and a pair of seconds. So definitely knows his way around the Speedway. As with that, teams are on the clock for your 5-star body semi-feature event. Again, that horn sounding during the 3rd heat race for the Bombers. The new standard of sprint car body technology is here, engineered with optimized airflow for maximum downforce and increased horsepower. It's available in multiple high-performance material options, so every team can build the right body package for their program. Shop now at 5starbodies.com. "13 drivers slated for your 5-star body semi-feature event. 12 laps, 4 are going to move on into tonight's feature. Lineup scheduled to find the 14 of Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana. The Beasley's Railcar Repair number 14 on the pole. Outside of him, Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. The East Snyder & Sons Recycling Keystone Cap number 39. Again, your 2 fastest qualifying drivers not locking directly into the feature event. Rogers upside down, Danner with a flat left rear, relegating them to the front row of the semi-feature event. Tony Helton, the 87, he'll go from 3rd. He's out of Spencer, Indiana. The Ace Corporation number 87. Next to him will be C.J. Leary out of Greenfield. Driving the Jarvis Enterprises, Bachelor Motorsports number 53. Ivan Glotzbach in the I-1, the Racers Custom and Collision Repair number I-1. He'll go from 5th. From 6th, the 45 in of Troy Carey at Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia. The Skyline Building, Supos Hog Heaven number 45 in. The 19 of Hayden Reinbold at Gilbert, Arizona. The AME Electrical entry will go from 7th. From 8th, Max Adams, the Rumpke number 24P, the driver out of Loomis, California. Kevin Clodderfelt in the 79. Clodfelter, what am I saying? Out of Rockville, Indiana. Hope you enjoyed the remix. The Pepperack Power, DRC number 79. Austin Nye in the 97. Set to go from 10th. Eric Gentry out of Roberts, Kentucky in the 10. Tom Eller in the 29 out of Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. And the S47, Hilton Rowett out of Bordertown, Australia. Set to round out your lineup here in 5-Star Bodies semi-feature event. So quite a bit of damage to the drivers slated for the pole position after getting upside down. Of course, the flat left rear tire on Danner. And Drake with an update on both.
Yeah, a lot of damage on Jaden Rogers' car. If you're just joining us here on FloRacing, Jaden Rogers went for quite the tumble, and his heat race got a little bit too high on the entry to turn number 3, and that sent the 14 over. And initially, it didn't look like the car was that bad, but when Kyle Rogers and the team got a chance to take that car apart back in the pit area, they found a lot of damage. The main piece of damage was the bottom shock spud on the right rear corner of that race car was severely damaged, so they had to reattach that. Along with the Jacobs ladder, the front bumper was damaged, along with the tail tank and the rear bumper. But as a matter of fact, not only the same tail tank on the car here in the semi-feature as it was in the heat race, the bumper is the exact same one as well. Kyle Rogers, Jaden's dad, and crew chief beat that bumper back into place, and they got it good to go here for our 5-Star Body semi-feature. And you mentioned earlier Briggs Danner had a flat left rear in his heat race. He told me that was certainly a puncture from something on the racetrack, just not exactly sure what it was. And an interesting tie into that same heat race, Kyle Cummins, who was leading the heat race, had a flat right rear tire at the very end of it, told me the same exact thing about their flat tire as well. So hopefully whatever was in the racetrack is all cleaned up, but certainly a tough break for those two drivers in their heat races earlier on, Brian.
Definitely so. Thank you very much. Toyota Racing Development pace truck going to bring the field around. Caution lights should go dark this time. Again, 12 times, 4 drivers moving on. Rogers, Danner, Helton, Leary, Glotzbach, Carey, Reinbold, Adams, Clodfelter, Nye, Gentry, Eller, and Rowett. Side by side of the NOS Energy start can, exit turn number 4. Field fires it off into turns 1 and 2. Rogers with quite the bite, flying the front end there on the start. Able to get by and take over the top spot here as they come around to complete lap number 1. Danner running in second. Leary quickly up into a transfer spot in third. Helton right now trying to hold on to fourth. He's got Troy Carey coming after him in the 45. They'll work off into turns 3 and 4. The 87 down low, the 45 up high. He'll bounce her off the cushion a little bit, and that's going to allow the ace court number 87 of Tony Helton to hold the position. Challenge for the second spot. Here comes Leary. He's going to come after the 39 of Danner as they work into turns 3 and 4. High side still the advantage for the Keystone Cap. P. Schneider and Sons Recycling number 39. The Foxco number 53 pedaling down around the bottom, still right there. Helton holds on to the 4th spot. A little bit of breathing room for him right now as Glotzbach coming in to try to steal the 5th position away from Troy Carey, the I-1. Working down onto the bottom side of the racetrack, the 45 in, right through the middle. Careens are off of the cushion, and Glotzbach is there to capitalize. Up onto the cushion now, takes a spot away, and boy, both drivers just about went for a ride. The 45 in going to lose 2 more spots here as they work onto the back straightaway. Leader working around to the front straightaway. Jaden Rogers absolutely running right now on the 14. Reinbold by Glotzbach, make that Reinbold by Glotzbach right now in the I-1, going to set his sights on the 87. 1 spot shy of moving on for the AME Electrical number 19. See if he can get in and make something happen here. Coming around to complete lap number 8. Leader finding the back of the pack. Haller in the 29 goes a lap down. Next driver in line going to be Rowett in the S46. Leader going to clear to the high side here, keeping an eye on the transfer spot behind him. Glotzbach just about skipped her off of the back straightaway. Reinbold trying every line he can get his hands on to get a run and reel in the 87 of Tony Helton. As Jaden cruising the cushion at both ends, now going to have to drop down to the bottom here into turns 3 and 4 as he comes up on the 45 in of Troy Carey to put him a lap down. Wave of the white flag, 1 to go. Boy, Reinbold has been steadily making up time on Helton. That time, the 87, a little bit better drive onto the front straightaway as your leader works onto the far side of the racetrack. He'll come around this time to the checkered flag. It will be Jaden Rogers getting the job done to your 5-star body semi-feature event. Helton around the bottom, able to fend off the charge of the 19. He's going on to the feature event. So the 4 drivers unofficially moving on. Tony Helton in 4th, CJ Leary in 3rd, Briggs Danner in 2nd. Winner in that one in 14. Race fans, give him a hand, Jaden Rogers. So I'll have a quick break in the action here as we get ready for tonight's feature event. So team's going to make their way back into the pits. We'll have a quick break in the action here. Crew's going to come out and do a quick assessment of the racing surface, see if we need to do any work there. In the meantime, on the FloRacing broadcast, we'll be back.
Cap your 4th of July weekend with Champ Cars in Terre Haute. The 22nd running of the Sumar Classic brings the USAC Silver Crown Championship to the legendary Terre Haute Action Track in western Indiana on Sunday night, July 5th. It's the thundering herd of the USAC Silver Crown car for 100 laps at Terre Haute on Independence Day weekend. The engines roar to life at 6 p.m. Eastern. Make your plans and tell your friends all about it.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
a challenge? How about this? Anything you can do, I can do faster. Okay, bro. I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder. Slicker. Cooler. Tougher. Let's go.
So what you got?
Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. If you have any questions, please call Indy Metal Finishing today at 317-858-5353. Find them online at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Indy Metal Finishing, or visit their website at indymetalfinishing.com.
Something has awakened. The horsepower and torque you always knew was there, just waiting to make every drive thrilling. Track tested, off-road proven, performance for everything you drive. Drive better with K&N.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Who's it gonna be? Evan Distian steals it here tonight.
Broadcast here on FloRacing. A little bit of moisture laid down to the racing surface, and crews also taking care of the apron of the racetrack, trying to mitigate dust down there when drivers do have to bail down off the racing surface. So they'll allow some of the moisture they shot out to the track to soak in a little bit here before we get into our feature event. Don't forget, we're back at it here tomorrow. Expect cars to be on track about 6:15 tomorrow for engine heat and wheel pack. Silver Crown for the Sumar Classic on Sunday at the Terre Haute Action Track. Mid-America Midget Week kicks off at Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex in Missouri on Tuesday, July 7th. Mitchell County Fairgrounds for the Chad McDaniel Memorial on July 8th. That'll be in Beloit, Kansas. And then Jefferson County Speedway up in Nebraska in Fairbury on July 10th and 11th. Starting at Mitchell County, of course, the National Open Wheel 600 Series. The Micro is going to be on the card along with us. And remember, they have 3 days of racing up at Jefferson County. They'll have a split field format to set up Saturdays. So if you want 3 nights of racing up at Jefferson County, you can check that out. Silver Crown to Winchester on July 19th, and then we kick off NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by K&M Filters, the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on July 23rd. Tickets on sale at ims.com. Back here at Lincoln Park on July 24th, Kokomo on July 25th. And, of course, you can find the entire schedule, the rundown, all the information. Each one of those events, a $10,000 to win, a main $25,000 to the Sprint Week champion. You can find it all at USACracing.com. And, of course, if you can't be there live, you can see it live right here on FloRacing. So Drake York down in the pit area. We'll check in with him here in just a little bit as the lineup finalized for tonight's feature event. So 30 laps the distance in tonight's feature event. And I believe Drake going to be talking to one of the drivers slated for the front row tonight.
Indeed, Timez Thomas Meserol on the pole for night number 1 of the Sprintacular here at the Lincoln Park Speedway. And of course, you were just with us on our BC 39 broadcast. Not bad for some driver analyst, huh?
Yeah, you know, part-time, full-time. I'm kind of part-time in 3 different rides, you know, and this is one of them. We're going to run the Indy race, actually, and a little bit of Sprint Week tomorrow. And, yeah, so I'm always pumped to be at Putnamville. This is my favorite place to race. And, you know, the opportunities aren't as often as I want, you know, so this is a great one. We ended up 9th quick, got a little bit of luck, you know, and we're starting on the front row.
I look at the racetrack tonight, and that big curb that we know and love here at the Lincoln Park Speedway is forming. Do you think it's going to be a Thomas Meserol-style track out there for you, just because there's a big fat curb here at Putnamville?
Absolutely. I mean, that is what I came here for. That is that big curb, slick to a big curb. That's what I came here for. But it's not as high up as it typically is. So it's making, you know, the circumference a little bit smaller, changes your speed, changes a little bit. In the heat race, it had like a little eyebrow in it that it didn't smooth, it wasn't very smooth. And so, man, as always, this place has character, and I'm gonna have to be elbows up to get a win tonight. But you know, we got a good starting spot, and just super stoked to get the call from Landon Simon. You know, Landon, he could come here and race it himself, but now he's got some young kids, and he'd rather watch me hang it out there.
Timez Thomas Meserol will roll from pole here in our feature event here tonight for night number 1 of the Sprintacular at the Lincoln Park Speedway. There you not see, but rather hear the horn in the background sounding. So that is the driver signal that there is 8 minutes to get to the staging lane. Brian, as we're getting awfully close to the start of night number 1 here at Lincoln Park.
Indeed, thank you very much. Once that horn shuts off, the 8-minute clock will begin. Now, local contingencies up for grabs. An extra $2,000 in incentive for local drivers. Highest finishing local driver gets $500. The So Close Award gets $200, Hard Charger $100, and the Hard Luck gets $200, and that's both nights here during the Sprintacular. Don't forget, tomorrow, fireworks also on the card, so make sure and bring your friends, bring your family. You can enjoy burning methanol, burning hot dogs, and burning fireworks here at Lincoln Park Speedway. $6,000 to the winner tonight, $10,000 to the winner tomorrow. Get a look down at the pit area at the Reinbold Underwood Motorsports pit. The crew's finishing up adjustments on those machines, getting ready for tonight's main event. Again, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. Expect cars to be on track for wheel pack and on laps about 6:15. Fireworks also a part of the program. Of course, remember, if you can't be here in person, you can check it all on FloRacing. So again, the water truck coming out did drop just a little bit of moisture out on the racing surface, took care of some of the loose material down in the infield, putting some moisture down there. Ambulance getting it back in its position. The horn has sounded. So that means it is that time of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, to present your starting lineup. Round 26 of the 2026 season. A $6,000 check goes to the winner. Night number 1 of the Sprintacular. Set to roll to the green like this. Out of Greencastle, Indiana, driver the curb records, mechanical advantage, Coletta Charters, Neil Tire, number 63. It'll be Cale Coons. He'll go from 9th from 10th. Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana, the Beasley's Railcar Repair, American Dream Racing, Spec DRC, Parallax Motorsports, number 14. Inside run number 6 out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the East Snyder & Sons Recycling, Keystone Gap Boulevard Truck Repair, Ryder DRC number 39 is going to be Briggs Danner. And outside of him, making his 4th A-feature appearance in USAC National Sprint Car Competition out of Spencer, Indiana, driver the Ace Corp, AJ Felker, DRC number 87, that'll be Tony Helton. Gavin Miller out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. He'll line up 13th. Driving the curb records, Kodiak Products, Team Arizona, Kerbagajanian, Oakcraft Elegant Cabinetry, number 21, AZ. And next to him in 3, the Rocksteady Racing, Britt Arrow, Timberland Lumber Company, number 3R of Harley Burns. Next row for the inside, Edison Homish, Washington. Driving the Pit Logic, 8-3 Customs, Elevate Race Media, Race Redeem Foundation, number 83. It's going to be Chance Crum. And next to him, out of Fort Branch, Indiana, the Moose Racing, England Machine and Tool, Moments by Morgan Lucas Oil Center, Superior Tank and Trailer, number 92 of Chase Stockin. 9th row inside the 4C is going to be Dalen Chambers out of Bowling Green, Indiana, driver of the Motorsports Unlimited Spike number 4C. And outside of him, driver coming to you out of Anaheim, California, the Inland Rigging Darty Motorsports, DRC, Snake Enterprises number 5T of Jake Swanson. 19th starter, the 11W, is going to be Wyatt Burks out of Topeka, Kansas. The Wholesale Battery Harris Fabrication Down on Triple X Chassis number 11W. Next to him, the 49 of Austin Corey to Morristown, Indiana, the Browns Oil Service Celebration Child Life Ministries. Caterjohn Performance DRC number 49. Wesley Smith inside of your 11th row out of Nixa, Missouri, the Dryden All Metal Recycling Engine Connection, Shanae Lawson Chassis number 44. And from 22nd and 28, it'll be Brandon Maddox out of Terre Haute, Indiana, the Whitman Roofing TCB Speed North Gressman DRC Chassis entry. 12th row from the 23rd starting spot, CJ Leary at Greenfield, Indiana, the Jarvis Enterprises, Bachelor Motorsports, Primetime Financial number 53, and the 99 of Kyle Johnson at Greencastle, Indiana. Driving the Noble Tax Service, Witz Lawn Care number 99J, he'll go from 24th. The final starter by way of provisional at Gilbert, Arizona, the AM Electrical, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Jugo Superfoods number 19 of Hayden Reinbold. As that'll be your scheduled lineup for night number 1 of the Sprintacular here at Lincoln Park Speedway. Drivers start to make their way out to the racing surface. Drake has one to watch.
I certainly do, Brian. Before we get into tonight's feature event, remember, there still is time to play in a Dirt Draft lobby. Simply log on to the Dirt Draft app and select the Rookie League lobby to play in, but you got to act fast because that lobby locks here at the start of the feature event. Now into our Dirt Draft 1 to watch. I'm keeping my eye on the driver rolling from the outside of the front row in the G5. That is Gunnar Setzer. Earlier today in Learn Lab qualifying, laid down a really good lap, second fastest, or rather sixth fastest on the field, which put him inside that all-important, and I'm actually getting word that Gunnar Setzer is pulling off the racetrack, so I almost would say null and void to what I'm going to say here, Brian, but that's a tough break for Gunnar Setzer, too. I think, headed into this race, that I think this is one of his better chances to get a USAC National Sprint Car win. He's been 5th twice in his career. Of course, that's dating back to his rookie season last year. He's had a lot of turnover here in 2026 for sure, so I might have to get back to you here on the Dirt Draft 1 to watch. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to go, but I might make up another pick for you. I have to at least have my guy at least start the race, right, Brian?
I mean, I've heard of the announcers curse kicking in, but as they were firing, my goodness. So let Drake go through the lineup, see if he has another one he wants to pick out here. The drivers may be going, no, please don't. So right now, the plan of attack is the outside line will move straight up. Anybody else out of that outside line, that will force a crisscross. So Kevin Thomas Jr. now going to go up to the front row, and Drake is tempting fate yet again.
Yeah, why not? We're just going to go for the next car to start on the outside of the front row, but really great opportunity here for Kevin Thomas Jr. You never want to earn Christmas presents this way, but a great Christmas present, so to speak, for KTJ. Kevin Thomas Jr. have talked about the success he has enjoyed in his career here at Lincoln Park Speedway, but let's not forget this is only his second race with this new team, BBI Motorsports, based out of the Southwest in Arizona, and this car has had a lot of great speed on the regional level out there with USAC CRA, USAC Southwest, etc., with Kevin Thomas Jr. behind the wheel. And one thing that makes me really confident about this partnership for KTJ and this group is it's a package KTJ likes with that DRC chassis underneath them. like I said, he gets a bit of a Christmas present now starting on the outside of the front row, but I think the 15 is going to be fun to watch in this one, especially with that big technical curb if he chooses to use it here at Putnamville. So there is your part 2 of the Dirt Draft 1 to watch. Dirt Draft getting their money's worth here for the 1 to watch segment tonight, Brian.
Well, Drake, remember, this isn't the first gift he's gotten this week.
No, it's not. He's gotten a few gifts this week to BC39. I mean, you look at how good BC39 was for KTJ on the podium both nights, and I still go back to his comments in Victory Lane on the final night of the BC39. But yeah, KTJ, he's had a really good week up until this point. And the other thing too, Brian, I'll add on to that, I think Kevin is tired of running second this week. I think he finally gets a win tonight.
So he crossed second both nights at the BC39, but night number 1, and he commented, "I've never won a race in my sleep." The driver that had originally won the race, unfortunately post-race tech, in the McDermott entry for Drake Edwards, found the RPM limitations were not within spec. So that moved Kevin Thomas Jr. officially up to the winner of night number 1 of the BC39, and was also the first win for Four Kings Racing. So problems continue for the G5 Setzer, the car back onto the racetrack, but still not wanting to fire. They're going to go ahead and take him back down into the pit area. What an absolute heartbreaking potential end to the night here. We'll see if he goes down to the Indy Metal finishing work area, if they go ahead and bypass and head all the way back to the pits. Looks like they will come to a stop just off of the racing surface. Toyota Racing Development pace truck over in turn number 4 as the field going to get word to go ahead and get doubled up and ready to go. So again, that front row advancing straight up. KTJ to the pole, Moles to 4th, Ballou to 6th, Rogers to 8th, Helton to 10th. So the G5 headed back to the trailer. Unfortunately, his night will come to a close. So field working by, officials taking one last look at the lineup, make sure everybody is where they need to go, and with that, they will break rank and work from side by side to 4 wide. Ladies and gentlemen, our drivers, thank you and salute for coming out to enjoy tonight's racing action as they work to the back straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, light up them cell phones and rise to your feet. It's time to make some noise for the Ruts and Guts thrill ride to the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Nine drivers in victory lane so far this season. 2 winningest drivers, Moles and Cummins. Each a half a dozen wins. Cummins, your most recent winner at Butler Motor Speedway. See if we can add another name to the list here tonight as they make their way to the back straightaway. Night number 1 of the Sprintacular set to go to green. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to sit back, relax, and enjoy 30 trips around the Lincoln Park Speedway because, race fans, this is what you saved your lunch money for. To the green on night number 1 of the Sprintacular. They find the gas, they tap tires, and here we go. It'll be the 24 taking off into the race lead. Timez onto the back straightaway. KTJ car got out from him just a little bit there in the start. He's going to slip back to third. Justin Grant going to take advantage. 3 wide of the third spot. Kevin Thomas through the middle. He's going to go ahead and report down to the bottom over in turns 1 and 2. Justin Grant dead ahead of him. Moles up to the outside with the 3P chasing right now as they work into turns 3 and 4. Thomas Meserol leading. And the Landon Simon race at number 24. Grant in second, Timez up on the top, Grant around the bottom along with Kevin Thomas Jr. Now, here comes the 3P of Kyle Cummins. He's going to go to the top side, and Robert Ballou is going to go ahead and start making some moves in 12. Robert down around the bottom, going to come up, and he will take away the 5th spot here. Moles back to 6. CV, Rogers, Danner, and Cale Coons, your top 10 in the opening lap. Look out, we got one off the top of the racetrack. He's still rolling now, going to come to a stop. That's Helton in 87. Helton, that car, slammed the cushion, hooked right. Thoughts for a second he was going to go for a ride. Luckily, had scrubbed off enough speed, instead coming to a stop on the outside of the Speedway. So Thomas Meserol and the Parts Authority, Knox Enterprise number 24, taking off with the race lead. Round of the NOS Energy Star Can. Him and KTJ did a little tire tapping as Kevin Thomas, that car, lit the hides. Thought he was going to fall back to about 4th there for a minute. They went 3 wide for the 2nd spot. Grant was able to sneak by and take the position. KTJ holds on to 3rd. Kyle Cummins in 4th. Robert Ballou in 5th. Mitchell Moles in 6th. Logan Seavey in 7th. Jaden Rogers in 8th. Briggs Danner in 9th. And Cale Coons in 10th. Harley Burns in 11th. Tony Helton had been running in 12th. That'll be Gavin Miller now. Chase Stockin going to line up in 13th. Swanson in 14th. And Crum going to be your top 15. Problems for the 4C. Coming to a stop and official. That'll be a safety stop. And one driver pulling down to the Indy Metal finishing work area. Looked like the 28 of Brandon Maddox. So the clock begins for Maddox, again 60 seconds. So 3 laps completed. Again, 30 the distance. Meserol in his 14th career start here at Lincoln Park with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. His last run in the Sprintacular preliminary night was a 22nd place finish. His best run here was a 6th in the finale in 2018. Career start number 235 for Thomas Meserol. So Maddox able to pull out of the Indy Metal finishing work area. He will be instructed to go ahead and go past the leader and make his way to the tail end of the field. And looks like problems persist on the number 28. He's going to take it down and bypass the Indy Metal finishing work area. Unfortunately, Maddox evening going to come to a close. Officials still going to work on the 4C. We'll get the Indy Power Sports side by side behind him. We'll see if he is able to go ahead and refire here in just a moment. So waiting to see the verdict on the 4C. In the meantime, Drake, what do you got?
Well, if you remember back to just moments before our feature event, we talked to Thomas Meserol, who is our pole sitter and current race leader here early in this one at Putnamville. And if you go back to what he said, I'm going to go to the top and run the curb. And he also mentioned that the whole reason he showed up to Lincoln Park Speedway tonight was to run the infamous curb around this place. Right now, Brian, he is doing it to perfection, keeping his word at the front of the field at the moment.
Right now, he's the mayor of the capital of Cush as he leads the way. Grant in second's been working down around the bottom side of the racetrack along with Kevin Thomas Jr. Kyle Cummins moving his line around. He's trying the bottom, he's trying the top, and we're ready to get after it here as they work around to the NOS Energy start can, single file and back underway. Meserol slides her up, slams her off the cushion and onto the back straightaway. Good bite. He's going to daylight the forward Grant there for a moment. Justin going to try to pull in and see if he can catch him right to the middle of turns 3 and 4. KTJ around the bottom, up on the high side. Rolls the Gavante, windows the doors over 3P. Kyle Cummins. Fourth, looking for third here as they work onto the back straightaway. Kevin Thomas working around the inside, brings it wide to the exit of turn number 4. So far, fends off the charge of your current points hitter and defending champ. Cummins slams her off the cushion there for a moment. Kevin Thomas says he tried the high side, no, sticks it back down to the bottom. Justin Grant, in the meantime, he has vacated the bottom and he's gone to the top. Trying to reel in and run down your leader, Thomas Meserol, trails by just shy of a half a second. Now only car lengths as Meserol careened her off of the cushion. Now here comes Grant. He's going to look for the lead, but the red light's going to come on. We've got one flipped at the exit of turn number 4. '99J of Kyle Johnson, the driver, going upside down, up off the top of the racetrack, exit turn number 4. So the driver crawling free from his car, he is okay. So officials going to go to work, and that car, just like we saw earlier with Jaden, not as precariously placed, but still in a very precarious position as he is just up on top of where the track kind of crests right there. So we'll have to be careful on getting it upright. And Drake York down on scene, getting a look at what's going on. We'll see if we can catch up with him.
Yeah, we're letting Kyle gather his thoughts down here, but getting a look at where we are here on the embankment at turn number 4. You're exactly right, Brian. A very precarious situation, but good to see Kyle get up out of that race car under his own power. We'll see if we can grab a word with him here in just a moment.
It's not the way Biscuit wanted the end of the night here as he'll make his way back up the racetrack, and we're going to go back down to Drake.
Catching up with Kyle Johnson, who exits the 99J. Glad to see you're all right. What happened down here in turn number 4?
I just bit the cushion too hard, so that's part of it. Andrew Collier, I was up there for you, buddy. So that's it.
Glad to see Kyle Johnson up and out of the race car as the 19 AZ, Brian, headed to the Indy Medal finishing work. You have flat right rear on that machine.
So Moles heading back to the Indy Medal finishing work area. And again, looking at the replay, goes in, slams it hard on the right side. When he turns it, digs the left in. And from there is along for the ride. So thankfully, driver, though, is okay. And a flat right rear on your leader. Timez working on getting the car out of gear. And yeah, that Hoosier is flat on the right rear. Moles was down in the work area as well. And officials going out and getting a look. Those two drivers have both been buried up in the cushion, so that's where the officials are going up and taking a look here. But what an absolute heartbreaking turn of events for Timez. His last win back in 2019 at Kokomo during SmackDown. So Grant going to take over as the leader. Kevin Thomas Jr. going to restart in second. Kyle Cummins in third. Robert Ballou now going to restart in 4th. Jaden Rogers in 5th. Logan Seavey in 6th. Briggs Danner in 7th. Cale Coons in 8th. Gavin Miller in 9th. And Harley Burns now going to move up into the top 10. Mesereau, your leader to the work area, and Moles, who had been running in 5th, down into the Indy Medal finishing work area as well. So working on getting the 99 up on the hook. Top 10 in series standings coming into this weekend. Again, Kyle Cummins continues to lead the way. Mitchell Moles, second in points. Hopefully the team can get it repaired and back out of the racetrack, keep him right there in the points battle. Justin Grant, this could be a banner night for points for him as he rides in 3rd coming into tonight. 16:34 for Moles. Grant comes in at 16:14. Briggs Danner currently 4th in standings. Stockton in 5th. Swanson in 6th. Seavey, KTJ, Leary, and Robert Ballou currently make up the top 10 in your driver standings. Of course, you can see the full rundown of driver and entrant standings when you go to USACRacing.com. Of course, back here tomorrow, and then Sunday, the Terre Haute Action Track is set to be the 500th USAC Silver Crown event as we are headed to the Sumar Classic. Jake Swanson, Kyle Steffens, Briggs Danner, Kenny Gentry, Mitchell Moles, Mario Klauser, CJ Leary, Jerry Coons Jr. set to be back in action in the Hagenbottom number 24. Darren Nida in the AP Driver Development number 26 going to make his Silver Crown debut. Robert Ballou back in action. The Sean Woods number 27. Dave Berkheimer, Greg Corey, Cal Cummins. Steve Jeniton at Agravois Mills, Missouri in the 64. Brett Triplett at Lincoln, Illinois. Bill Rose at Plainfield. Set to be back in action in Silver Crown action here this Sunday. Chase Stockton, Shane Cottle, the throttle going to be there. The Doran Swanson Racing number 77. Justin Grant in the Himmelgarn number 91. Patrick Bruns at a Champaign, Illinois, the Full Throttle Racer number 95. Corey Wyant at a Springfield at the 99, the 119 of Hayden Reinbold, and the 177 of Dave Pepperack out of Clinton, Indiana. All set to be in action this coming Sunday. In Silver Crown Championship standings, CJ Leary currently leads. Justin Grant sitting in 2nd, Mario Klauser in 3rd, Kyle Steffens in 4th, Briggs Danner in 5th, Bobby Santos in 6th, Greg Corey in 7th, Dakota Armstrong, Dave Berkheimer, and Jackson Masinko currently make it the top 10. For Silver Crown winners at the Terre Haute Action Track, like a list of Hall of Famers: Gary Benthausen, Donnie Beachley, Kevin Thomas, Tony Elliott, Jack Hewitt, J.J. Yaley, Bud Kading, Dave Darlin, Levi Jones, Cody Swanson. Leary, winner there in 2016. Wyndham in 2017. Grant in 2018 and 22. Seavey has won the last 2 outings there. Unfortunately, not on the entry list. So, see if we can add a new name to the list of Terre Haute Action Track winners with the USAC Silver Crown Championship. Again, that is this Sunday. Pits open at 2. Front gates open at 4. Cars get on track at 6 p.m. Again, we're talking about Sunday, Silver Crown. For the big cars, back to the sprint cars, where Justin Grant takes over as the race leader. Again, if you're just joining us on the FloRacing broadcast, Thomas Mesereau had been out front. Unfortunately, a flat right rear tire as we sat under red flag conditions has relegated him to the back of the field. Moles also making it back out of the Indy Medal finishing work area. Single file past the NOS Energy start can, and we're back underway. 6 laps completed. Kevin Thomas trying for the top spot here. Justin Grant able to keep him at bay onto the back straightaway. The 4 going to work up to the high side. The 15 down to the bottom of the 3P, looking for room to run by both of them. They work off of turn number 4. Grant's going to lead the way. Dogfight underway at the front of the field. Grant keeps it wound up with the cushion. Here comes the 3P on the outside. It'll be Cummins taking over the second spot now. Goes side by side for the race lead. Justin Grant's going to hold him off for the time being. Grant off of the cushion, the 3P likewise. Kevin Thomas Jr. running in third, and keep your eye on the 14 of Jaden Rogers. 2 wins on the local scene here at Lincoln Park. Careens are off of the cushion off of turn number 4, and Robert Blue going to take advantage. Slide job for the race lead. It's going to be Cummins taking over in 3. Kyle Cummins takes over the top spot now, going to protect the slide through turns 3 and 4. Grant back to second. Kevin Thomas Jr., Robert Blue, and Jaden Rogers again off of the cushion. Exit turn number 4. That's going to allow Logan Seavey to sneak by in the 57. Briggs Danner following in behind him in the 7th spot. Gavin Miller and Tate Stock and Cale Coons right now your top 10 as he's out front and starting to pull away the 3P of Kyle Cummins. Half a track already, or half a straightaway make that over the 4 of Justin Grant. As he has got that Avante windows and doors petty performance over 3P absolutely rolling on the cushion here. 12 laps completed. Back in the field starting to come into view for your leader. Kevin Thomas Jr. still running in the 3rd spot. Robert Ballou running in 4. Jaden Rogers pounding on the cushion like it owes him money at both ends of the racetrack. Has been able to pull up on Robert. Hasn't been able to get by him though. As your leader having to move around to the racetrack now. Tries a different line through turns 3 and 4. Runs more to the middle and lower side of the speedway. Bounces are hard off of the cushion that time in turns 1 and 2. Had to really slow up and get the car back underneath them here. Gets a good feel of it now as he comes back around to the front straightaway. Back off of the cushion. Going to work on the 87 of Helton to put him a lap down. To the midpoint. 15 in, 15 to go. Advantage 1.307 seconds last time on the start-finish line. As Jaden Rogers and Robert Ballou has swapped that position around. Now Rogers going to get up and try to battle with Kevin Thomas for the 3rd spot. Smoothing his line around the cushion, goes right to the outside and goes right by the 15 as they work into turns 3 and 4. Kevin Thomas not done with him though, tries the inside, can't get the bite. The 14 with a better run to the front straightaway. In the meantime, Justin Grant, boy, he really slammed the cushion hard. He's got the inboard rotor aglow on that thing, trying to keep the car loaded up and wound up all at the same time. 1.4 seconds last time around. The difference now just over a second as Grant closing in on your leader as he's come up on a wall of traffic. They're side by side as he'll go to work up to the high side. Cummins coming up on the 83 as well as the 53 as they work into turns 1 and 2. Grant, man, hammering the cushion so hard over in turns 1 and 2. Scrubbing off a lot of speed as that has also allowed the 14 of Jaden Rogers to come up. Potentially a 3-car fight for the lead coming. Grant again just backs it up into the cushion. And every time he does, just really upsets the car here. But right now has nowhere else to run. The inside line is occupied by slower traffic. Cummins now, he's going to dive to the bottom and go to work on the slower cars. Leaves the high line open. Grant has a run to the back straightaway. Can't get there fast enough. Playing high-speed chess through traffic here. Cummins going to go in and slide up across the racetrack. Gets a lap car between himself and Justin Grant. It's going to be Leary lying between the first 2 cars right now. But man, Grant, every time he goes into turn number 1, just goes in and all but picks the left side up on that thing. Now he's going to have to go to the bottom and try to get by the 53. Jaden Rogers going to close up on him once again. That's going to be the fight for second. Still Justin Grant holding on to it. Jaden is right there. Kevin Thomas Jr. trying to hold on to 4th. Robert Ballou trying to take that from him here as they're side by side to the back straightaway. Robert up on the top of the racetrack, comes around. Kevin Thomas still has him at the line. 1 driver down to the infield. That is the 49 of Corey. We stay green. Top 3 drivers now all nose to tail as they work into turns 3 and 4. Coming around, a fistful showing this time. 5 to go here on night number 1 of the Sprintacular. Grant this time a much smoother run into 1, but again finds the cushion and hooks a little bit at the exit turn number 2. Within a couple of car lengths, just doesn't have the momentum to try and pull anything off here. And time is not on his side. The sand in the hourglass is starting to wane as they work into turns 3 and 4, but slower cars to the inside of your leader has kept him at bay for the time being. Within a car length there in the middle of turns 3 and 4. All three still up on the cushion. Grant, that time the car got really tight on him. He's going to lose car links onto the back straightaway. Does this allow Robert Blue to close in? Not quite here as they make their way into turns 3 and 4. He is gotten by Kevin Thomas Jr. KTJ running in the 5th spot right now as the white flag set to come out. When they work off at turn number 4, Grant misses the line at the exit of the 2nd turn, loses a ton of ground here as they'll come around this time. 1 to go here at Lincoln Park Speedway. On a roll as he works onto the back straightaway one final time. He's going to drop to the inside with lap traffic. Grant's going to go to the cushion and try to make something happen. Checker flag is out. Kyle Cummins wins night number 1 of the Sprintacular. Justin Grant in 2nd, Jaden Rogers in 3rd, Robert Ballou in 4th, Kevin Thomas Jr. in 5th, Logan Seavey in 6th, Briggs Danner in 7th, Jake Swanson, Gavin Miller, and Chase Stockton unofficially your top 10. And just like that, he is back in victory lane here with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. For the 2nd time in as many outings with the series, the 7th time on the season. The 2019 Sprintacular winner. Wins preliminary competition here in 2026. And he will come up to the top of the car, ladies and gentlemen. Winner of night number 1 at Lincoln Park is Kyle Cummins. 26th start of the season, 7th win, his 19th top 5, his 25th top 10, his 37th win of his career with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Coming in as 346th career start. Had to go to the bottom of the final 2 turns. High side was open. Justin Grant not able to mount the charge. The 5th to 1st here tonight for your current USAC National Points leader. Let's take it down to Christy.
A pretty masterful run there for Kyle Cummins and Petty Performance Racing, which should be no surprise given that he is the points leader with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series. Kyle, we talked about it just before we rolled out for the feature. You weren't really loving the starting spot that you wound up with after the inversion and the heat races and all of those things. How did you capitalize on it in the end?
Really, it's bad. Good luck for me, my part, that we didn't have a flat tire. And, T-Mez was a lap car, and he was faster than I was, I feel like, there for a little bit. So, if he wouldn't have had a flat tire, he'd have been tough to beat, and he probably would have won. So, we got some luck. And then I think Mitchell had a flat tire, and, so it's just the flat tires kind of moved me up a couple of positions. And good luck there. But, my guys been working hard on the car. Pennsylvania, we threw everything at it that we knew and trying to get a little different feel. And normally when it's like this curved up, I like a cushion, but when it's this curved up, I'm terrible. So we're just working on, I kind of just sailed out, say I'm going to run the top of the entire thing, and I wasn't very good on the bottom. But the first couple laps, I was able to get a couple guys there, and just can't thank enough. Jerry Petty's here. I'm sure he's been here when I won, maybe, but I don't know. It seems like every time I win, he's not here, and every time he's here, I'm terrible. So it's cool to get him here. Bev's home watching. Avante Windows and Doors, Jugo Superfood Gummies, Premier Recycling, Lifestyle Homes, Phil Rossi's in the trailer too with Apache Transport, Bill Floyd with Lucas Oil of Evansville, I think he's out here too. Just a bunch of people, S&C Machine, there's just a ton, I can't thank everybody. Stanton Racing Engines built a heck of a motor, Sure Built Shocks, K1 Race Gear, Bell Helmets, I can't thank all them guys enough. My crew, they've been working tirelessly. They between the midgets, between the sprint, we're going to run a Silver Crown car for the first time Sunday. So I got to give it up to Cameron LaRose, to Zach Fields, Casey DeRenzi, Aiden Schmidt, Tanner up there in the T-shirts, selling T-shirts. My wife and kids. It's hot out here. The in-laws are here. Just thank everybody. It's cool to get my kids up here, and as they get older, they're starting to kind of understand it. So that's even more special. And just thank the Lord Jesus Christ. He gave me the luck, and just thank him and for giving me this talent. And you can be all right, and then you can get some luck. So track crew put a great track, in front of us here tonight. And thanks for all the fans coming out. I know it's hot. It's probably going to be hotter tomorrow, but, thanks for everyone coming out. Thanks for everyone watching on Flow, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Well, you said it, but it's worth saying again, Lincoln Park Speedway is curbed up today. And I don't have to tell you, it's difficult to run, but you weren't left many options in lap traffic. How difficult was it to commit, especially when you could feel the heat of the 4 on your tail tank?
That's what, if a lap car was beside me, I'm okay. Surely he's not going to drive around me on the bottom. And so I was just making good laps. And then if Team Eds would pull away from me a little bit, then I could see the cushion again, so I could get back on it. And I just want to make sure I did not hit the cushion and get over top of it and then lose everything. So it's kind of, when it's curved up like this, it's pretty important to get in the front and stay in the front, and it makes it, that guy can't see as good, and so for him to pull off a slider, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So, I don't know if our car was better, but, if he was right there on me, then he had a good car too, and so, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Sometimes you don't have to be better. Sometimes you just have to be good and lucky. So that's Kyle Cummins. He's your winner here at Lincoln Park Speedway for night number 1 of the Sprintacular on the 4th of July weekend. Drake York has second.
Justin Grant, your runner-up here, night number 1 of the Sprintacular at Lincoln Park Speedway. And Justin, it was almost a yo-yo effect between you and Kyle. At the front of the field, you'd catch up. A slight mistake would put you behind. How tough was it to put together consistent laps to challenge Kyle for the race win here tonight?
Yeah, just tough with curbs, that tricky. You get behind a guy and you can't run the throttle like the way you want to. So if he gets tight, then you get tight, and just kind of just gets tough to run when you get that close to a guy. But just kind of bobbled there early off 4 and let Kyle by us, and then it was tough. We kind of, we were able to get back to him there in lap traffic, but he kind of had a row of lappers, plugged up underneath him the whole time, and kind of knew he was safe, so he could kind of settle in and ride, and there wasn't much of an opening for me to try and throw anything at him, which I'm sure he knew, and it was, we were able to stay packed up to his rear bumper, but just couldn't really go anywhere. So he ran a good race there, and I gotta figure out how to make this NOS Energy Drink 4 run the middle like that 3P does. That thing's nasty through the slick. So our Jeff Walker and Nick Mansker and all the guys we're working our tails off, and I can't thank NOS Energy Drink, Top Motorsports, Top Industries, MPV Logistics, everybody that makes it possible for me to drive this 4 car enough. And thanks to all the fans coming out. I know it's hot, but we appreciate you being here, and we'll see you tomorrow.
A good start to the weekend for JG. Justin Grant, he's your runner-up here, night number 1 of the Sprintacular. Christy Leary standing by with a driver that had to overcome a lot of adversity to get that podium tonight.
Yeah, what a setback in the heat race for Jaden Rogers, who got upside down, ran it all the way back up to a 3rd place finish on the podium for night number 1 of the Sprintacular. Jaden, nobody got to know the cushion better than you did tonight. I'm not even talking about the heat race. The amount of times that you bounced it off of turn number 4, it seemed like every time you came back around, the harder you hit it the lap before, the more finessed it was the next time by. Did you get pretty comfortable up there by the end?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just comfortable here in general. Obviously, that was my fault in the heat race, and just didn't get a tear off down the backstretch and drove into 3 blind, and it cost me pretty big. So, we start 5th, and we get we get to race a little bit more up front before we get to lap traffic. Maybe things change a little bit, but just trying to be real meticulous on where you hit the cushion, and how much wheel spin you have when you hit it. It changes a lot here, but tonight it was so muddy it wasn't. So you just had to not trip up as much.
Pretty storybook night there for Jaden Rogers, who again got upside down in the heat race, but man, what a salvage for a finish. Coming home 3rd on your podium, Justin Grant 2nd, Kyle Cummins your winner of night number 1 of the Sprintacular. We'll get it back over to Drake.
Jake Swanson, your Rod and Supply hard charger on the evening here at Lincoln Park Speedway, plus 10, 18th to 8th, and yeah, the curb was the dominant line, but were you able to make any of the other lines work? We saw how good the 3P was through the middle, and a few other cars made speed on the bottom. Were you able to make any other lines other than the curb work?
I pretty much made every other line but the curb work. You may not have seen me because I was too far back, but I worked. I was just kind of playing connect the dots out there, and used pretty much everything, every bit of moisture that there was out there except for the curb. I went up and ran the curb once or twice, and I felt like I was kind of tripped up there. But where we set up the race car, I knew it was gonna be tough to kind of run up there. So all in all, I'm happy with the amount of cars that we passed, and just kind of disappointed that our night started so poorly. We work really, really hard in the shop to show up with sound race cars, and it seems like we've kind of had a little bit of dogged year, just like weird things plague us, and it's nice that we're finally being able to dig ourselves out of a hole. I feel good. Passing cars, I feel good about all that. So, yeah, hopefully tomorrow we can just start off on the right foot and go from there. But yeah, just want to say thanks to all these guys that support me. Inland Rigging, Rolled Scaffolding, the Houstons are up there. I got a lot of family up there in the stands tonight. They're in town for our 4th of July party. So thank you guys. Appreciate all the fans. And yeah, we'll just we'll work a little bit harder and massage on this thing and hopefully qualify in the top 6 tomorrow.
You heard him talk about it. Not an ideal start to the night in Learn Lab qualifying. Jake Swanson and the Naming Swanson Motorsports team dig deep to go +10 on tonight's feature field. Once again, your podium after a flip in his heat race, Jaden Rogers lanes himself at the bottom step of the podium. Justin Gray in second, and your winner of night number 1 of the Sprintacular here at Lincoln Park Speedway, Kyle Cummins.
Thank you very much. Cummins of Victory Lane, Justin Grant. Jaden Rogers picking up some extra cash as well. He was your highest finishing local as well as your local hard charger. Gets an extra $700 for his run here tonight, so congratulations to Jaden. Robert Blue in 4th, Kevin Thomas Jr. in 5th, Logan Seavey in 6th, Briggs Danner in 7th. Rod Supply Hard Charger +10 to Jake Swanson, extra $150 in his pocket. Gavin Miller in 9th and Chase Stockin in 10th. Mitchell Moles in 11th, Harley Burns in 12th. Thomas Meserol comes back to finish 13th after a flat tire sent him to the Indy Metal finishing work area while leading. Kel Coons in 14th, Wesley Smith in 15th, Hayden Reinbold in 16th, CJ Leary in 17th, Chance Crum in 18th, Tony Hilton in 19th, Austin Corey in 20th, Wyatt Burks in 21st, Dalen Chambers, Kyle Johnson, Brandon Maddox, and Gunnar Setzer, unofficially rounding out your field. So they will clear the front straightaway. The Bomber feature event coming up next. 15 laps, 24 drivers scheduled to take the green flag. We'll see who makes the call. So once we get things cleared on the front straightaway, looks like the Bombers have made their way into the staging area. So Dustin Petro out of Columbus, Indiana, the 0, slated for the pole position here in your Bomber feature event. Josh Van Cleve out of Crawfordsville in the 13, going to line up next to him. Josh Foxworthy, the 38 from 3rd. From 4th, Scott Tidwell in the 55. Row 3 inside, Katie Grigsby out of Spencer. Jake Byers in the 55B, going to line up in 6th. 7th is going to be Josh Linton out of Paragon in the 89, and the 441 of Brad Davis. He'll go for the 8th starting spot. 9th is going to be Michael Fish in the 4X and the 01 of Jeremy Ferris. Driver out of Brazil. 11th starter Jason Trimmer the 2nd out of Indianapolis, and Mike Moody in the 3M, slated to go from the 12th starting spot. Looking back to row number 7. Kyron Roundtree at Lafayette in the 00. Chad Casassa out of Brazil in the 14th starting spot in the 14C. David Bumgarner the 2nd and 7. He'll go for the inside of runner right next to him. Evan Foxworthy in the 37 out of Marshall. That'll be the 44 Terry Dean at Rochdale. He goes from inside of runner number 9. Outside of him, Randy Foxworthy in the number 77. Row 10 inside, it will be Brendan Berkla, the driver to Mooresville, Indiana, the 17B, with Roger Absher in the 2. Set to go from the 20th starting spot. Mark Smith and Dustin Brown. Set to round out your lineup, the 14 and the 7X here with the Bombers. Again, 15 laps the distance as they begin to make their way out onto the Speedway. Field all making their way by, officials checking to make sure the transponders all register. So a quick note from USAC historian, PR, and all-around vault of information, Richie Murray. Mentioned earlier, 37th time that Cummins has gone to victory lane with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. Ties him for 13th overall with Sheldon Kinzer. And the 3M in a no parking zone over in turns 1 and 2. It's a name you read on the website for every press release nearly. That's Richie Murray. And not just because he's standing here looking at me, but no. If you hear about USAC, if you read about USAC, any information, statistics, press releases, that's all Richie. He is a one-man band when it comes to that. And absolutely, we deeply appreciate everything that he does for this series and for this sport. Field going to work to the back straight when they come around this time. Race fans, we'd hope you get on your feet. Let the drivers see you as they get ready to go green. The wave lap here with the Bombers. Let them hear you. Field set to go. 15 times around with the Bombers. Night number 1 here at Lincoln Park. We're underway. Oh, problems on the start. We got one slow. We'll see if he pulls down to the infield, and if this one stays going, sounds like it's going to come on back. C, Casassa, driver with issues, and that's going to go ahead and bring things back. Officials, everybody getting jumbled up, so they want to make sure everybody gets a cleaner start at the, or a cleaner attempt at the start here. 3M came to a stop over in turns 1 and 2. Things going wrong there. Have to wonder if maybe a belt might have come off of that one, but anyway, we'll see if maybe this gives him the opportunity. Doesn't look like it, to try and make his way back out. So we will line them up, try it again. Again, we had a car, the 14C, that lost power coming to the drop of the green flag here. Got everybody a little jumbled up from about midpoint back. Better start this time. Bomber feature event underway. Petro and the 0 going to jump out with the early advantage. Foxworthy peeking down to his inside. Now they're going to try and take it 3 wide for the lead. They thought about it, couldn't get there though. The 13 of Van Cleve up on the cushion. Trying to get it wound up here as they work onto the far side of the racetrack. They are still side by side with the top spot. Foxworthy in 38, 0 of Petro. Right through the middle here, trying to keep that momentum built up. That's a half a car difference at the line, and it's going to be Foxworthy coming around to lead lap number 2. 0.030 seconds was the difference. They are still right there on each other onto the backstretch. Contact that time into turn number 3. A little bit of a bounce and a hop and a skip off of the 0 as they made a slight contact. Foxworthy going to secure it here. Petro back to 2nd. Tidwell in the meantime running in the 3rd spot. Byers running in 4th. Van Cleve is back to 5th. Grigsby running in 6th. Litton running in 7th. Davis, Fish, and Trimmer right now running out your top 10. Nearly 3 wide for the 2nd spot. Petro in the 0. Getting that right rear all the way up into the fluff here in the entry of turn number 1. Keeps her up at the top shelf through turns 3 and 4. Challenge coming from the inside line. Here comes the 55 of Tidwell. Picking up a heat race win earlier here. Works it on the inside. Still not able to get the bite he needs. As they're battling, though, Josh Foxworthy in that 38 is absolutely gone so far. No surprise for your current points leader. Carries a 29-point advantage. Only 1 trip to victory lane so far this season, but look at this, 6 top 5, just as many top 10s, and a half a dozen feature starts. Again, consistency wins championships, and right now, that's exactly what he's been doing. Katie Grigsby, the driver, currently sitting 2nd in points as they work into turns at 1 and 2. Everybody gets stacked up. And Grigsby is caught up in that mess. And looking down, checking the point standings real quick, not seeing how that started, as I was going to start to kind of go through and talk about the points difference there, and looked like Tidwell, driver that had been running in 2nd, was up involved in that. Van Cleve is also over there, and it looks like the 441 of Davis is also in that one. Replay coming to the FloRacing broadcast. The bump and run. The 0. Going into turn 1, and yeah, straight into the left rear. So getting things cleared over in turns 1 and 2. So the 441 and the 13. See if we can't get another look at that here. And see if it was a case of the car maybe starting to go around the 0, nowhere to go. They slowed the frame rate down. That really kind of gave a little bit different perspective there. This is at speed. See the 0 come in. Looks like he gets right into the left rear. They'll come back. They're going to slow it down here. And with that, the officials confirming after getting another look at that, the 0 did, in fact, get into the 55 to cause that, so he will be sent to the tail end of the field. So Tidwell, because he was sent around, officials confirming he will retain his position. He'll go back to 2nd. So Van Cleve, they're going to get him on the hook. So officials going over the lineup, discussing where everybody needs to get back to get in their proper position here. And I believe Brad Davis will also get his spot back in the running order. I'll confirm with that, as he got involved in that. But again, it started when the 0 took the 55 around. So as soon as we confirm that, and they are on the receiver confirming, yes, Davis will go back to his position. Byers also back up in his spot, so he'll restart in third. Litton going to restart in fourth. Davis now going to restart in the... No, excuse me. It'll be Byers starting in third, Litton in fourth. Davis going to restart in fifth. But Josh Foxworthy had been out in front, nearly a 2-second advantage. So Grigsby had also gotten caught up in that. You see the damage on the front of the number 14. She's going to get her spot back as well. So again, because that all started when the 0 took the 55 around, all those drivers being told by officials do go back to their spot in the lineup. As we get ready to get back after it here, 7 in, 15 the distance. So just shy of the midpoint. Back underway. See if Foxworthy can do just as he did at the start of this one and just start to run away. Tidwell in second, battle for third. The 89 of Litton and the 55B of Byer. Advantage right now going to be to Josh Litton here as they work onto the back straight with a 55B back to fourth. Davis currently running out your top 5. Grigsby running in 6th. Fish running in 7th. Oh, we got one squirrely. That was a 37. That's going to cost him a few spots in the doing. Able to get the car back underneath them. Everybody kind of scrambling there as Jeremy Ferris nearly able to get by. Blocked, though, as the 37 was occupying all lanes of traffic there just a couple laps ago. As the leader continues to be Josh Foxworthy, but he is not able to run away as much this time. In fact, now he's not running away at all. Caution lights are on. "11 laps completed. Top 7 made it by before the caution was called for. So again, from the middle of turns 3 and 4 to the cone to the exit to number 4, leader can fire at any point. They must stay single file until that cone, though. Saw a driver get popped on that earlier tonight. Make their way around to the front straightaway. Let's get back after it. 11 laps completed. Again, 15 the distance. Foxworthy, good drive onto the back straightaway. Oh, we've got him stacked up again. '72 is over there. I believe that was Trimmer. 37 involved over there as well. And the 17. All involved in that one. It's like Randy Foxworthy and Berkler were the other 2 drivers over there. They'll get it cleared out and cleaned out here. And the 72 has upset the officials. As he was going up and taking some paint off of the side of the 00, and the officials laying eyes on it and saying, not on this racetrack, you need to leave. So he has been disqualified for hitting another driver under caution. Official's not happy with that little move, so we go back after it. Keep an eye to the high side for Josh Litton there in the restart. He got a really good drive through turns 1 and 2. See if he can maybe do the same thing exit turn number 4. Hooks that car around, but that's going to cost him that time. Byers coming to his inside. 12 in. Into the closing laps here with the Bombers. Josh Foxworthy this time is starting to put distance. On the last restart, Tidwell was able to really kind of hang with him. Now he's trailing by a little over half a second here, as they'll come around this time to the wave of the white flag. Last time around for Foxworthy in 38. Your points leader with a half a track to go will find his way to the bottom side of turn number 3 and at turn number 4. He'll go to victory lane for the second time this season. Foxworthy gets it done in 38. Tidwell get across in second. Byers, Litton, and Grigsby ends up being your top 5. Roundtree, Fish, Randy Foxworthy, Berkla, and Petra rounds out your top 10. So top 5 going to make their way to scales. So we'll see if the 38 clears the scales. Once he does, we'll bring him up here onto the front straightaway, get his picture in victory lane, and the real prize of the night, the interview with Drake York. Don't forget racing action continuing tomorrow. Car set to be on track about 6:15 for wheel pack and hot laps. During the course of the day, of course, you can come out and mark your seat. If the seat is already marked, please do not remove it and be that kind of person. But you can come out and drop your seat, mark your seat throughout the day. And, of course, clear everybody out and officially open at 4 tomorrow for the grandstands. Of course, if you can't be here live, you can check it all on FloRacing. He's coming out of the car, winner second time this season. Josh Foxworthy, driver the number 38, your current points leader here at Lincoln Park. His 7th top 5, just as many top 10s, and just as many feature starts this season. Drake consistency working at the front of the field.
Hey, consistency puts you at the front of the field. Josh Foxworthy gets the job done here tonight at Lincoln Park Speedway. And once this machine got to the front, Josh, it really didn't seem to matter what anybody else did. How good was your car out in front of the field?
The car was amazing. I mean, I got a great crew behind me. My sponsors, Foxworthy Excavating, and Scott Hopper at Spider Radio. I mean, we put a new setup on this car. I've been struggling a little bit. I've been ain't been quite up at the front like I have been. I've been a strong second car about every weekend, and we did a lot of homework and some spring changes, and hopefully we got her back up front.
I would say the 38 machine back at the front of the field and back in victory lane here in Lincoln Park Speedway. Foxworthy gets the win here in the Bomber Division.
Congratulations to your winner with the Bombers tonight. Again, it was Josh Foxworthy. Tidwell crossing in second, Byers in third, Litton and Brad Davis. unofficially running out your top 5. As that'll do it for night number 1 of the Sprintacular here at Lincoln Park Speedway. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everybody with the United States Auto Club, Lincoln Park Speedway, and the whole crew here with Studio 56, my name is Brian Holbert saying good night, good luck, and God bless.